Hello sports fans, welcome back to the 2018 JJ Giltinan World Championship Trophy. Well, we're coming here live today down at the Double Bay Sailing Club for the final race, race 9 of the series, and haven't we had an absolute bell ringer of a regatta so far. Excuse the pun, but tell you what, we've got one thing for certain, the Kiwis will be taking home the trophy. So the two front runners who we've been seeing all week, who have essentially been the most consistent boats, which has put them at the top of the leaderboard, that being Honda Marine and Maersk Line. So going into today, it's going to be very close. It will be a thriller and it'll come down to the wire. But sitting in the box seat, we do have Honda Marine, who are still currently just rigging up their boat. There's been a little bit of a delay in trying to choose which rig to go with, because currently what we're seeing is a northeast breeze around sort of 12 to 15 knots, which is getting to the upper limit of their big rig. So a lot of these boats have left their choice a little late, and hence why they're all still sitting on the park. But so essentially what we've got is the two boats, Honda Marine, Maersk Line. For Maersk Line to win the World Championship, they must win the race today. So, and they need Honda to finish 4th or worst. So essentially what they need to do is just grab the bull by the horns and just go for it. I think they just need to basically hit that line, whether it come off the pin end, whatever it is, they just got to win, and hope the best that Honda have a bad race. Honda, on the other hand, they're going to look at it and basically, I can see them just trying to sit close to them, follow them around the course. If they get in front, I'm sure they'll just be lamping on them, trying to prevent them from winning. So that's the excitement there. We've got a lot of excitement building here on the wharf, as you can see. This is one of the 2 ferries coming in today. A lot of the spectators all lining up. So we've got 2 packed out ferries. Essentially, we've also got a run for 3rd place. 3rd place in the standings is ASCO. ASCO sits 5 points in front of SMEG. So that's sort of where the attention will be for the minor placing for 3rd place. So that'll be worth looking at. What we're going to basically do now is we've got Peter Shipway, our head commentator on the Camera Cat. He had a couple of little interviews earlier today, and we're going to pass to him. He was having a chat with John Winning. So let's over to you, Shipway.
With John Winning. John, another regatta's almost done and dusted. He must have been impressed with the Kiwis.
Yeah, well, I won't say that I picked it, but after last year's performance, we expected them to be very hard to beat, and we weren't wrong. I'm actually pretty pleased that I felt in the fresher stuff our fleet's a little bit closer to them in that fresh stuff than we were last year, and we were competitive with them in the more moderate stuff. So, you know, I think our fleet is still very competitive, but they're 2 very class acts, and they deserve everything that they've pulled off here.
Knowing the amount of work that you and a lot of others have put into the 18s, it must be really rewarding to see so many people here today on the final day of racing, and so many skiffs racing. There's 25 boats out there.
Yeah, well, it just seems to grow. It's funny, the people that just come out of the woodwork from all over, it's almost on their calendar to come down, certainly for the last race. You know, these with professional sport and everything else, we don't have a lot of promotion that goes with it, so it sort of stands on its own merits. You know, and as I say, it seems to get bigger each year. It should be a pretty big spectator fleet out there today.
Well, best of luck. See him keep the mast pointing to the sky, and
hopefully
good luck in your race.
Yeah, and it looks like this could be as good a breeze as we have had for any of the heats. You know, shaping up to be a beautiful nor'easter, so can't get much better than that.
Good luck.
Here we've got the DeLonghi boys, Brando and Simon Nern, Club Commodore. Boys, it's probably fair to say it hasn't been your best regatta yet. We often would see the DeLonghi a lot further up the scoreboard. Do you put that down to anything, or is it just one of those?
Put it down to being our first regatta, probably. You know, when you don't sail that much together, you just get a bit better as the week goes on.
Sure. So the new team with Brando coming in, and also Kurt, you've been sailing with a bit as well.
Yeah, you know what it's like out there. You get out what you put in, and if you don't spend enough time at it, it's a tough old fleet to get the fun of.
Yeah, understand. It looked like I thought for a second you were going to sub in Max. You think it might have been a little bit too.
He would probably do a better job as Bowman, I reckon.
It's a bit quieter than Kurt, for sure.
Now,
a bit quieter.
Shirt off again, Brando. Is that just for the girls or what, or is this how we're going sailing? Back in the old
just how we're
Chesty
going
Bond
sailing. You know, Chesty Bond days minus the singlets, of course.
Very good. Now, Nerney, tell us, you do a lot of organisation, you know, to get this regatta happening. Obviously, there's a lot of behind the scenes which get on. Does that basically play a part in maybe being a bit of a distraction come race time?
I try and ignore it during the week and on Sundays when I'm sailing. You've got to try and enjoy your sailing, otherwise there's not a lot of point doing any of it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And you know, you got Doug and the team there, and Rosemary in the office, and there's plenty of people doing a lot of things. So.
Yeah, doing a good job. Well, yeah. You're doing a fantastic job too, so thanks very much, because it does happen. This doesn't happen without you guys.
It's the things you don't see, like containers getting impounded and someone having to go and try and argue with customs, and which Woody did a good job with.
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff goes on to make it happen, yeah.
Hey, well, best of luck today, boys.
You have a good day.
Go and finish it off with a good one.
Should be okay. Should be a bit of fun.
All right. Good luck. Let's just have a look over here. The Whisperer, Anderson. Tommy Anderson.
Yes.
You got a second?
Tuxon.
This is the star recruit. I've just got you live here. Tom Anderson.
A mouthful of food.
That's all right. Tom Anderson jumped on the Triple M, won the race, and now they've subbed you back in for the final race of the regatta. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I'm honoured to be on board. The guys are really good to sail with. They're very calm, cool and collected.
Were you helping them up into the Rose Bay that time with a few of those little tactics of yours? Or?
Oh, look, I think I was just a passenger on board. They were really all over it. I was happy to be with them. But yeah, it was a really good tactical race, as you would say, a good ding-dong battle.
Good ding-dong battle. What brings you on today? Pete Mackey was on.
They wanted me on the whole series. I couldn't do yesterday, as I just hadn't committed to the whole year. So yesterday I was just busy with work, and then today I said I'll definitely be there for the last day to have a good hit out with them.
Tommy here is getting married to the lovely Steph Scarley in a couple of weeks, so that'll be a lot of fun, won't it?
Yeah, it'll be unreal.
All right, mate.
Big party.
Now I'm going to cross now over to so Shipways had a good yarn with the McDowell brothers, Terry and Kim, who I mentioned, who have come across from New Zealand, and so Peter had a bit of a yarn to them earlier on today. They're obviously very excited. They've made the trip across to see the trophy get taken back to New Zealand, and they often come here quite a few years, so they're a great supporter of the class. But let's go and listen to Shipway and his interview with Kim and Terry.
Delighted to have on the final day of the 2018 Championship Kim and Terry McDowell over from New Zealand. They were the last New Zealand winners way back in 1974 in Auckland. Terry, it's a long time ago and it's hard to remember even yesterday, but what are your memories of 74?
I can remember it vividly. I relive every race every time I go for a run and feel tired.
And look, just doing a bit of homework, I think you won the invitation race in the first 4 heats and didn't have to finish in the last heat, is that right?
No, that's correct. We added one before, we didn't need to start the last race.
And Kim, your memories?
Oh yeah, a great event. It was, full on with quite a very strong Australian contingent there and a few others, and to beat that quality field was kind of special, yeah.
And Terry, why did you think your dominance that year?
We worked closely with Bruce Farr, the designer. We spent our whole Christmas holidays training daily with Bruce Farr. Had a routine at the gym. We ran a lot, so we were fit as. Obviously knew the local conditions, but had spent so much time on the water that we knew our boat very well.
And Kim?
Adding to that, I think one of the big factors was we had very strong competition in Smirnoff with Don and Jimmy Lidgard and Ian Harrison, who had won in Brisbane a year before, 2 years before. They provided some very stiff competition in our build-up period, which was critical to us having to step up.
And you beat, as you said, some of the great names in Australian skiff sailing. Dave Porter was runner-up in KB, and I think Bobby Holmes was there in the Australian Travelodge.
Yeah.
So it.
And there's Hans, Chapman, plenty of them.
And it's nice today that Dave Porter will be putting the championship ribbon on one of the New Zealand boats. So now here's a bit of this. I need you both to answer this. I think you'll probably know the answer, but I'll ask the question that a dear friend of ours, New Zealand, or one of the world's most foremost yachting commentators, PJ Montgomery, was calling the final race live on radio in New Zealand. He had an expert commentator with him that day, and the expert commentator was so overcome with emotion he couldn't talk. Now, give us a clue who that expert commentator might have been.
Oh, I suspect it was probably my father.
It certainly was.
It certainly was. Roy Pop McDell, yeah. Passed on a few years ago, and a really popular guy. And I know Peter Montgomery has said that's one of his great moments in broadcasting, when poor old Pop, he couldn't speak, he was so overcome. So that's wonderful. But very quickly, Porter was second that year. Now, do you know who was third?
Probably Captain Morgan, was it?
It was.
Yeah.
Wayne Innes, the infamous Wayne Innes. That's right.
Wayne died just recently.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yes, I was doing some...
He was a real character.
He was a real character. Didn't sail the invitation race. He said that's a waste of time.
I
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah. But let's look forward now to today. I mean, now we can say you're the last New Zealanders to win in 44 years. In 2 hours' time, we won't be able to say that, because either Honda or Maersk Line will get the chocolates. So you must have been impressed, or have been impressed, with the performance of these two boats.
Oh, yes, in particular those two, but the other two, Knight Frank and our other boats. Seatech, of course, Alex Vailings. No, all of them, I mean, they're right up there. But the first two, no, their crew work and everything they're doing is brilliant.
Kim?
Yeah, I agree. And again, they've been working together and developing the boats. And all the guys here, particularly David McDiamond and Alex Veiling, they're very innovative and clever people, as are a lot of the people involved. And I think that's showing in their boat speed. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think also one of the things is Sydney Harbour. It is different to what they sail in Auckland. There's not much competition over there, but here, it's a new ball game, and they've really excelled, and they've been dominant consistently. I think it's a real tribute to the New Zealand 18-footers. So, look, terrific to have you here. I hope you enjoy it today. I'm sorry your record's going to go, but I don't think you really mind. Thanks, Terry. Thanks, Kim.
Okay, pleasure.
Yeah.
Looking through the boat park now, as I was saying, a few of the boats are a bit late getting themselves sorted. We've just got Maersk Line here, just doing some last-minute rig tuning and trying to get that last little bit of water out of the boat. But no doubt they're feeling a few of the nerves, but they're just trying to gear themselves up and give themselves the best shot. So they'll be excited, and I'm sure they'll have a good day. If we just cruise on over here, Tiana, Kirk Mitchell. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good.
That's the way. Now, how's your week been so far? You got Tim and Dan just hiding up over there under the heady. A bit reluctant to get out, but how was yesterday? Look, I saw you boys are up in about a 5th or a 6th.
Yeah, the old saying, penthouse to the shithouse.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. Now, I saw you in the boat park yesterday afternoon trying to do a little bit of a rig tune.
Yeah, we just got caught out yesterday. We went the wrong side on the last work, and then just got hammered for it. Did a little bit rig tuning. Probably doesn't help. I saw you down there with Jack Mack. Yeah, no, it probably does it. You've got it set up for 8 knots, probably, have you? But I think you'll be fine. You'll be fine today. It only looks like it's not building. So no. So we sort of kept the same rig setting as yesterday, the tighter rig setting. So she'll go all right.
Perfect. Good numbers. Now she's a lovely boat. Hey, now what's your game plan for today? So we've got a run in tide. It's a small tide.
Small tide,
so
but
it should be flattish.
Yeah. Get off the start line and then.
Tim looks like he's got some advice.
Yeah. They don't want to talk though.
They don't want to talk. No. Right. So getting off the start line's a good one.
Yeah.
That is very good. Yep.
Depending on how well we get off the start line, probably try and hit the left. But then saying that, there's been a little bit of east in it this morning, so
yeah. So which is good. It'll open up the course. I reckon, I agree with you. I think maybe you might get a few boats do a little bit of even a bailout and get to the right of the fleet and maybe come home strong.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would normally think, incoming tide, potentially stick out the left and out of it. But it's a weak one, so I think it's all about breeze today. So.
Yeah, I think it's more on the shifts today rather than tide, getting out of the tide. So tide's so small, so
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be right.
We'll be right.
You're loving it. You guys are doing well. You're sitting in 12th, I think.
Yes, 12th.
Yeah. Now you told me you're a bit off the kitchen. You're only 3 points behind the kitchen maker.
Yeah.
You only got to make up 3 points, you'll be right. Top 10 was the goal, wasn't it?
Yeah. Top 10's the goal.
Okay. Well, go the mighty Vintech.
Yeah. Thanks.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Tim, Dan. Now, I'll just have a look over here, have a little cruise on through. The Honda boys are obviously gearing up. They're ready to go, but like a few of these guys, they ended up getting the bad park draw, so they're now waiting for the Peroni. Nick Daly, he's always a culprit, basically holding up the whole fleet. But they're itching, and I'm sure they're feeling pretty confident. Essentially, really, they just need to stick next to their mates here, Maersk, and have a trouble-free day. Easily said than done. But yes, anyhow, now we're going to have a little quick yarn. Let's have a quick little yarn to Eddie Van Master.
How are you, mate?
I'm all right. You?
Are you missing it?
I am a little bit.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, so you
know, when you sit back and you're looking at the videos all the time, you think, well, why aren't you out there doing it? In fact, I did do it yesterday.
Yeah, you did?
I did. I got wet.
3-minute man or the 4-minute man?
Very unexpectedly, but yeah. Anyway, I got dry lips. Hey, now, what do you think? What are your chances today? This is a bit more your breeze, isn't it?
Probably. I don't know. I mean, we've got a big rig, so hopefully we know where our settings are with it. Don't know. We're still learning it.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. I don't know. Yeah.
Where are you situated? I haven't looked at the.
We're ninth. We had a bad day yesterday, and that was really costly for us. We just couldn't get anything right. Couldn't do anything right on the wrong side.
It's easy on an easterly. It was
easy. That was the easiest part of the day. Getting it wrong.
I know, but you know, it was not surprising to see the good guys up there again. You know, the Smeg. The Smeg.
You don't expect anything different from those guys. It's just trying to go with them. So.
All right, mate. Good luck. Hey,
Thank you.
Best of luck. Now I'm going to throw to another interview with Pete Shipway and Riley Gibbs off the Mighty Harkin, the US entrant, who's got Pete Harris and Dan Phillips. They'll definitely be a good shot today. Let's pass over to that interview now.
Here with Riley Gibbs, the American skipper of Harkin. How have you enjoyed the regatta so far?
I had quite a few fun rides earlier in the week, and then as the racing progressed, it got a little trickier, but maybe we'll have a nice nor'easter today to wrap it off.
Yeah, well, you've been up there at times and had a good performance. What's your history in 18-footers? Is there much?
Not too much, just sailing around with Howie back in LA, being his sheet hand when he needs a fill-in, but I was here coaching last year and then filled in for Pedro when he hurt his back on the hire, so not too many days driving, but enjoying it.
And what's on for you now after this regatta?
Tomorrow I fly back to LA and then go straight to a kite foiling event in Mexico.
Well, good luck. Up in the air and on the water.
Yeah, thanks.
Did you copy that?
Yep.
How'd you pull up this morning?
Okay, here we go. Let's have a quick little look over here. So, finally, I was on a rubber duck, but a last minute call up. Okay, so we're just over here with my man Jack Bragg.
Okay.
So,
how you been, man?
Yesterday I got the last second call up with 4 minutes to go, and basically Josho busted his knee.
Yeah, and it was a great story.
It was a good story. We've got to be quick, right? Because you got a race to get to.
Me
but
too.
Essentially, I jumped on. Jack went on the bows. Never done bow. What did you think?
Oh, the bows is pretty difficult. Oh, it's
newfound respect.
Oh yeah, it's a lot harder than steering. At the back of the bus, we just sit there and yell at everyone.
Show us your hands.
Oh, my hands, yeah. No, they're not too bad. I have some super slippery gloves on yesterday. But
yeah, beautiful.
Good on the bow.
And first on handicap.
Yeah,
that's good.
For the Dalzotto.
Bottle of Dalzotto wine.
Yeah,
that was lovely.
Gave it straight to the missus.
Absolutely.
She loves it, so it should be good.
All right, mate. Hey, best of luck out there.
Very much for
and look after Elliot, who's on the bow now. Yeah.
Oh, we've got a big Elliot.
Go, Sammy. All right, we're just going to cross over now to an interview with Scott, the Babinator Babbage, who probably hasn't had the best of regattas by his standard. Won the state championships and second or third in the Australians, but you know that's the week it is. So over to that interview now from Shipway.
Babbage, skipper of the Kitchen Maker. How's your week been?
Not too good for us, to be honest. We started off well in the invitation race and the first half or part of race one, and then have dropped the ball since then. So we're battling out for 10th at the moment. Yeah,
it's been a tricky week, hasn't it? A lot of wind early, then some really tricky days later in the series.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, we broke down in race 2 with a spinnaker pole failure. And yeah, like you say, the windward leeward races on Wednesday and Thursday were pretty tough.
And New Zealanders have been impressive?
Yeah, I think I sort of expected that. I was saying to Riley a few months ago that it should be a Kiwi trifecta, and they've almost got there. Yeah,
they have. Thanks, Scott.
No worries.
Righto, here we've got Riley Gibbs and the Team USA. Team Harkin lifting into the water. Now it's a bit of a race, as you can see. It's a log jam. It's pretty difficult. If you look at all the boats over here near the commercial ferry, they all basically have to start off right underneath the lee of it, and it's basically a pecking order. So a lot of these guys, especially in behind me right now, are going to struggle probably to get that start line on time, but all will be well. We can just see here now regatta leader, Honda Marine. They're about to go into launch. I'm sure there'll be a few nervous moments there before the gun goes, but I'm sure they'll be right. It definitely is one of those things which I guess for everyone here, you always just want to hope that you've got a chance coming into that last day to win the regatta. And I guess as I alluded to before, there's 2 boats that can do it, and it's going to be a great contest. Here they both go in the water neck and neck right now, so it's already started. We'll see how that plays out anyway with much interest. Should be a ding-dong battle, as we like to say. Now, I'm going to just cross over quickly now to an interview with Henrik from Kaltenberg Knight, the German team. Shipway had a little chat with him a little earlier on. It was good to see the Euros come out here. There's a few of them, so let's see what Shipway has got to say.
So I'm with Heinrich from Munich, Germany. How have you enjoyed your week?
Yeah, it was amazing here. We have probably the sailing with the best scenic backdrop we've ever seen, because we're used to small lakes, and here it's a little bit different.
And what's your history in 18-footers? Have you sailed them before, or?
Yes, I've started some years ago as a hobby to sail 49er, and then you know, the Olympic level is very high, so we decided to hop on an 80-foot skiff, which is actually easier to sail, a little bit more fun, and more relaxed.
And a bit warmer than home at the moment?
It is. I would say about 35 degrees warmer.
Good. Well, good luck today, and good luck for ongoing sailing adventures for you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, here we've got the lovely, this is probably the best looking boat in the fleet, the mighty Ilvi. Ollie, how's the week been so far?
Hasn't been our most favourite week.
Nope.
We were looking at the early forecast and it was looking windy, and we loved that. First few races we got a good couple of results in the bag, and then it all kind of fell apart because we haven't pulled this out almost all season.
The big rig. Well, you've definitely been going well with that little rig. Fifth in the Nationals, was that?
Yeah, that was correct.
Yeah, that was great, and you started off well. But anyway, it is hard. It's hard to string together these consistent results. The Kiwis are showing us all how to do it. So anyway, next year.
I'll see what we can do.
Yeah, good luck today, boys.
Thank you.
All right, we're just watching the rag. Have a look behind me here now. You can see what I'm talking about, the cluster. Okay, look, we're just going to now go to an interview with Shipway and the Camera Cat team as they're gearing up for their last day. They've done a fantastic job out there. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Yeah, we'll go across to them now. And then we'll go with some...
Okay, well, here we are with the vessel that brings you all the pictures on the water and above the water. It's the famous Camera Cat. Just the boys putting all the equipment together for the this afternoon's race. This is the Ronin camera that bounces up and down and tries to stay level and brings the good pictures. We've got cockpits, 4 cockpits in the Camera Cat that charges around the race course, and one of those is the drone controller, who controls the drone that gets up in the air when it doesn't run out of battery. And behind the Camera Cat, or in front of the Camera Cat actually, is the Ripple side, which is the starting vessel for the 18-footers. Got all these flags there that they put up at various times, at the warning signal and the starting signal and the recalls and the general recalls. So it's quite an operation to get these event underway, and this just gives you a quick idea of the boats behind the scene.
Okay, here we've got the last remainders of the competitors getting out. We've got another little GBR boat here. The old appliances online. Now sponsored by Low Energy Design, LED. Essentially, we're going to now just switch to the highlight package from yesterday's race, where Smeg in fact won the race, and we'll go from there.
Harkins down there.
Yeah, Harkins down at the pin. Mersk a little bit buried, but he's at the pin end. Honda's advancing his bow. We'll stick with any
10
recalls.
I think Pinport might be over. We're not on the line, but just...
Okay, that's the starting signal. One gun, one hooter, and only one.
What are they?
Individual.
No, they've gone AP.
AP.
AP, okay, he's called them back.
They're a little slow with the flag there,
Yeah,
Pete.
yes. Okay, so that means it's a restart. It's a restart.
They've cooked Mersk. No, now they're okay. We didn't need that. 12 seconds, 11 seconds.
5.
They're away.
Okay, is Vintech over? Hang on.
One gun, one hooter.
Let's see.
Two hooters.
General recall.
Sorry, Pete. I'm happy about that because there was a mess up at the windward end, and the Rag, Ilvy, Kitchen Maker, and Mersk really, you know, were retarded there by their little hookup. So.
Yeah. But Mersk ended up getting off all right.
Yeah, they did. They were the only one of the three that the others still haven't crossed the line. The Rag. Finport, yeah. Keegan York carved himself a nice little spot there.
27 seconds.
Yeah, I've got it. It's coming up to 20 now.
Okay, 20 seconds to go. Race 8. All but underway. Sydney Harbour.
15.
Yeah, all well back.
And good breeze starting to come down, which is good.
10.
Big dip in the mid sector of the line.
Okay, pedal down.
5.
They're going. Oh, Asco's got buried. He's had a shocker, Asco. They're away.
So who's... Okay, Mersk away cleanly. Honda, a little bit of squeeze on...
Smeg got a nice start.
Yeah, Yandu at the windward end, a ripper.
Got my Yandu hat on today, Pete.
Yep. Well, so they're away and finally get race 8 underway. Noakes sailing right at the pin. Smeg just above him. The two boats doing well at the leeward end. A lot of the fleet who got poor starts have bailed out on port. But at the moment, the majority of the fleet on starboard, heading in the general direction of Bradley's Head. The beat up into Rose Bay. Race 8, JJ Giltinan Wells, 18-footers. Said it could be...
No, they don't.
Could turn this upside down, this whole race.
Forgotten or omitted to put in the mark, then...
So they're going to have to...
Start again.
Yeah, and there's plenty of steam or diesel smoke coming out of the ripple side, so she's full noise. They don't know.
Fair amount of panic on board, I'd suggest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So they're going to have to go back and start all this again.
So repeating that, there appears to be a mark missing, which is quite a critical thing in a race.
And if they... Sorry, Peter, to interrupt, but if they don't have a high-speed chase boat, I don't know how they're going to signal this to all the competitors.
Just go back to the start and just
yeah, but I mean they've got to signal
restart
to everybody, you know, that this race
well,
has
they've
been
got
aborted.
well, the flags are up.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, abandoned.
Got it. Thanks, Quiggs.
Restart.
So they've got a blue and white checkered flag, which is
we're going to restart the race.
Race aborted.
Wow, well that's disappointing, certainly for the leaders.
Yeah. So what do they do? What does the race committee do, Quicks? I mean, if they haven't got their own club mark down there again, and these guys go around...
I can't see how that's sustainable, was it? I just can't see how it is.
I think they've just drawn out the pain. I mean, for instance, let's say Mersk ends up having a bad day here, and Honda wins it. They just go back to the race committee.
Yep. You might have just seen that. Honda Marine just fouled Asco.
Yes, so
coming out on port. That little hiccup there got caught between two lasers and Asco. So they've had to do turn. We've got a potential collision here.
Look at this. Asco has no rights on Smeg. Had to dial it up. And that stuff's...
That's the circle.
Yeah. Smeg had to avoid them.
Windward boat.
And, mate, if he doesn't do his turns, he could go. Because
he is going to do them. He's dropping his spinnaker. He's going to drop his spinnaker.
No, he's looking.
Oh, he's looking.
He's wondering.
Yeah, he is. There he goes. He's going to do penalty turns. Asco.
Third place is super tight, Pete. There wasn't much in that, was there?
No, there's not much wind here
On
either.
the points, you mean?
Yeah.
So Warren's talking about, was talking about third place overall.
7 points differential.
Smeg and Asco are fighting it out, and they've
Yeah.
just had a little tactical altercation at the Windward Mark. So it's now a lot closer than it was. So let's just go through the placings. Here we go.
Right here,
so we've got Asco Smeg, Finport Honda, and on the mark we've got Quality Marine.
Oh, Kitchen Maker.
Come on.
There's just no wind.
Yeah.
Look at Knight Frank
We've got
bowling in. And
Quality Marine, Maersk parked, and Vintech, Harkin, all parked at the mark.
There's a lot of yelling.
Yeah, there's RG.
Yeah, Knight Frank trying to go inside way too late.
Yeah.
So.
And look at Yandu just coming in now. He was about third at one stage, and it just shows how tricky this is.
And out of shot, Pete, just talk about Asco has bolted. They've got heaps of breeze, and they've bolted, and Smeg.
They were a boat length behind them.
Exactly, and now they're, it's hard to tell from here, but 100 metres behind.
It's just a big vacuum.
Hang on, boys, this is brutal. Maersk went round the mark in 5th place, I think.
Yeah.
They've been rolled by 1, 2, 3, 4,
just a
5.
huge vacuum here. Look
5
at
or 6 boats.
There's nothing here.
That is brutal.
That is brutal.
He jibed to get out of it, and he just sat there, just getting going now.
But that's what we were talking about, though, wasn't it, Quicks? Like, if this result plays out, Maersk goes back to the race committee, race thrown out.
Here comes our hero on Peroni. Anything could happen. Stand by. Here he comes, charging in. Whooshka.
Is he going to give C-Tech room? Probably not.
Okay, we're on the race leaders. Worse. Right. This will be his drop if the race stays in.
Oh, gee.
Yeah,
John Winnie
shoves
it in there.
Oh, the old man, bit of fire in the belly.
Yeah, whoa.
Except he's hooked the mark.
He's hooked the mark.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Well, he's tacked. He might be all right. He wanted to go that way anyway.
Yeah, he's around.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah. Nicely done.
Okay, we're about 50 metres from the finishing line. Smeg just jibing. Honda barrelling in. Smeg hasn't got that much pressure. He's got one more jibing in after this. He won't lay down the finish, I don't think. As he might. Okay, I think Smeg's going to get there. So he's going to win his second race of the series. Smeg first on a very tricky day. And the race sponsor is Smeg, so just jibed again. He will win. Honda will get second. Asco jibing to get in third. Smeg first. So Honda second. Asco will be third. Finport fourth. Maersk fifth. Well, what a race that was. Had everything.
Incredible.
Again and
so,
still.
I'm a bit confused as to what's going on, Pete, because there's some Kiwi supporters that absolutely went ballistic when Honda went across the line almost to indicate they weren't
I think what it means is they can't, between Maersk and Honda, they can't be beat.
Yeah. Between the two Kiwi boats,
they must be first and second.
Yeah.
We're not going home, going to their home.
We welcome you to Sydney Harbour on a glorious day, a lovely nor'easterly breeze for race 9 and the final race of the 2018 JJ Giltinan World 18-foot Skiff Championship. And it's a race in two between the two New Zealand boats, Honda Marine and Maersk Line, to see who can take out this championship and give New Zealand their first win in 44 years. I'm Peter Shipway, along with Andrew Buckler and Warwick Rooklyn. We'll be bringing you this final race today. And firstly, Andrew, good afternoon, and give us the view that you see of the weather and the conditions that the fleet will experience this afternoon.
Thanks, Pete. The sort of a non-traditional nor'easterly wind structure we've got here today, the sort of synoptic stasis we've had over the last week remains pretty much. We've got the highs to the south that has just got far enough east that we have weak nor'westerly gradient, and on the harbour itself we have slowly building sea breeze, flood tide, weak flood tide, and I think today we might end up with wind speed 12-14 at the start and probably another couple of knots by the end of the race, right at the crossover between big rig and small rig, but most of the fleet with big rig. I don't think it'll be anything dramatic, but it'll still be a pretty interesting day, favouring probably the left side of the track.
Okay, and Warwick, just quickly run us through the course for those that may not be familiar with the, I guess, the traditional course for 18-footers on the nor'easterly breeze.
Thanks, Pete. Yeah, today course 1, nor'east course. As Peter said, start down here where we are in Clark Island, not far away from the Double Bay 18-foot Skiff Club. Head upwind north up to the harbour to the Beashel Buoy, and then down to Shark Island, Spinnaker Run, jibe around the island, back down to the starting area, upwind again, and then straight back down the harbour, a sausage in the second lap, and then for the third lap, up to the Beashel Buoy again, around Shark Island, and finishing right here at Clark Island to see who will take out the championship this year.
Okay, well, just before we get underway with the race, we'll just go through the point score so far. After 8 races, a drop comes into play. You can drop your worst heat. So on the point score, Honda Marine leads on 17 points, Maersk Line on 19, third Asco Appliances 33, and Smeg 38. So they're the two Australian boats really looking for the third place and to be top Australian boat, with Finport a slim chance. She's back on 41 points in 5th, followed by Knight Frank of New Zealand in 6th, and SeaTech, the other New Zealand boat, in 7th. So the 4 New Zealanders in the top 7 placings. It's a remarkable performance. They've been a model of consistency and quite brilliant throughout this whole regatta. Harkin is next from the USA in 8th, then Appliances Online, The Kitchen Maker, Yandu, Vintech, Quality Marine Clothing 13th, Rag and Famish 14th, then Peroni, Triple M, DeLonghi, Lumix, Ilve, the Time Genie from the United Kingdom in 20th, Noak Sailing 21, Dalzotto, Kaltenberg Light, B Light, and Low Energy Design in 25th spot. At the moment the breeze is about 10 to 12 knots. We're just waiting for the start to get underway. We're just based off Clark Island, just to the east of Clark Island, at the mouth of Double Bay. Beautiful conditions. All skiffs, I think, Andrew, majority, if not all, on their big rigs.
Yeah, there was, discussion and the possibility of building breeze, but the conservative option to some degree is big rig, and most of the fleet on big rigs, including all the leading contenders.
Well, the tide coming in, but massive spectator boats out here, even though the series is still very much alive for first and second. And we've got 2 ferries out here. They're both jammed to capacity. And we've got spectator boats left and right of us down the leeward end of the start line. And we're just about almost to get underway with a 5-minute warning signal. We're just looking over at the Ripple side, the starting vessel, with Jeremy Whitty, the starter there, about to get the hooter going, and the warning signal flag will go up. But at the moment, beautiful conditions. A lot of skiffs far away in the distance, but not much traffic up the first windward work. And there's the 5-minute signal.
And I'm seeing a little bit of bias towards the pen at the start line. Guys, what are you, got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice long line again. I think good out of the leeward end will be favoured. The breeze will head significantly between here and Bradley's Head. And the old thing, first man to Bradley should be able to lead the race comfortably. But that involves, being first there involves no dirty air, and there's not too many boats in this fleet that will be able to achieve that.
And also, as we've seen many times before, the boats at the pin may have a bias advantage, but they have to do that crucial port tack, and if they don't get it right, they can take a lot of sterns.
Yeah, but what we're seeing here, you know, the breeze now, and it was a little lighter at the committee boat end previously, but the breeze between here and Bradley's, you know, probably 2 to 3 knots stronger at Bradley's Head. So the guy that leads out of the leeward end is closer to the stronger wind, and obviously going into the header helps him when he tacks. So it's always a tricky setup, and it's a fine line.
And guys, not a lot of tide today, so that's not going to be as big a factor as what it was earlier in the week.
We think traffic management might be a big factor today. Perfect Sydney Harbour day.
So two real points of interest, obviously to see who wins this title outright between Honda Marine and Maersk. They cannot be beaten for first and second. And then the battle for third to be the top Australian boat between ASCO, Smeg and Finport. Smeg the Australian champion, and ASCO at the moment leads by 5 points on the points table. But Honda Marine and Maersk, that's the real battle for the outright honours and to lift the JJ Giltinan trophy. And for the first time it will be a New Zealand boat winning on Sydney Harbour. $2:46 to go. They're this stage too early to get in trouble. They're all just hanging well back and looking for their approach to the line. And the sky is, there's not a cloud in the sky. It's a glorious early autumn day, which will mean probably the nor'easter won't build that much. Andrew anticipating probably maybe 15 to 16 towards the end of the day.
Yeah, big spectator fleet, as Pete noted, and the day is such a beautiful day that we'd expect some pretty significant powerboat interaction. The non-spectating powerboats who traverse the harbour. So around 3 o'clock they tend to head for home, and that has been known to cause a bit of trouble to the fleet. But a good a portion of the Sydney waterfront community turned out here to watch this last race.
About 1:50 to go, and with this short time to the start, Andrew, what are you looking for here on the start line? Still middle to pin would be favoured slightly, do you think?
I'd be always happy to be down at the pin. I don't know.
Well, the two New Zealand boats already close together, Maersk and Honda.
Yeah, so the three sort of leaders in a sense, Maersk, Honda, and four leaders, Maersk, Honda, ASCO,
Smeg.
And Smeg, all fighting for the pin.
It's like Smeg's going to be the first to get there at the moment. Maersk is with him down at that leeward end.
Yeah.
Coming up to
a minute, Peter.
1 minute.
I'm at 1 second slow, but I'll get it on the 1 minute.
Okay, we'll probably hear the hooter. There's the hooter, 1 minute. The final heat, the 2018 championship.
And fair to say, Pete, that the other competitors are probably treating the leading group with a bit of respect and not impeding them in a general sense. So giving them a bit of room to fight the fight.
Beautiful day on the harbour. 12 to 13 knot nor'easter. It was in quite late around lunchtime here. Okay, we're starting to line up now. Smeg and Noakes sailing right down at the pin. Maersk is going for the pin as well. He's driven hard down to the leeward of the fleet. Can he get in there? He probably will.
His judgment this week's been fantastic.
It has been wonderful
on the start line.
Exemplary.
15 seconds, Pete.
15. Jets tide just coming in. Okay, here we go. Foot down. Yandu at the weather end. Got the start. I think all clear. All clear. Okay, Noakes sailing down at the pin with Maersk and Smeg. Yandu at the windward end. A great start along with Lumix Panasonic. Honda buried somewhat down the leeward end. It's Mersk down there. Noakes sailing down there. Has got his small rig on, I think, Andrew. That's correct. So he could struggle here a little, although he's hanging in at the moment. Smeg's one back from that group of Mersk and Noakes sailing. Then Asco. Honda trying to punch out from the leeward of Harkin. But we're underway in the 9th and final race of the 2018 JJ Giltinan World Titles.
Well, Pete, I think looking at that, Mersk can be pretty happy with that result, and so will Smeg. Both in good shape, and they're a long way in front of the boats that started at the committee vessel.
Yes, well, the test will be when they come across. Yandu got a perfect start at the committee boat. So, but at the moment, as you say, it looks like the boats that
the head
of the pin.
Yeah, the head is big enough. The head is big enough, so. And I sort of think that, you know, the little rig boat might be competitive up the beat, you know, quite competitive. So a little bit up range for the big sails, but the boys think they have to put them up because that's what the fleet's done.
And I can let you know, guys, Honda's in clear air now.
It had to do a little clearing tack, was.
So Mersk battling away, trying to get ahead of Noakes, but they're running out of runway. They're going to be dictated by Noakes as to when they can tack.
It's going to get quite light in there. Okay, there's Noakes sailing and to windward, and that's Mersk to leeward. They're the two leaders from the pin end. They're going in towards Bradley's head, the lee of Bradley's head. It's when I think Noakes has got Mersk locked out at the moment. No, Noakes has tacked. Okay, not much wind there where Noakes is. He's got the little rig in. And it's out in the middle stream here. Asco and Smeg look pretty solid.
Asco looks pretty solid.
Yeah, my word.
Asco looks solid.
There's Asco. He will probably lead the fleet.
So Mersk has to duck Smeg.
And where's Honda and Mersk? Mersk coming now on port.
Okay, so Noakes now just crossing Honda. And the next one
Mersk
will
so
be
Mersk
Mersk
Honda
and Honda.
cross.
No, Mersk.
You're going to
Mersk
duck. Duck. So Honda's in front of Mersk. Okay, Smeg is tacked.
That's remarkable.
And also, too, guys, that's put Mersk in the gas of Noakes.
Yeah, well, just showed Honda got buried at the start, jiggled himself out of it.
Got some speed, Pete.
Yeah, well, that's what if you've got good speed, you can do those sort of things. Smeg just going behind Honda, but it's Asco's going to be first to Bradley's. The old favourite, first to Bradley's tack. And look at these power boats coming round Bradley's with absolutely no consideration for these racing boats.
That's just standard procedure.
It is, I mean, just the idiot factor, complete idiot factor.
One guy slowed down.
One guy has slowed down.
So Asco tacks in bumpy water.
Yeah, it's going to get bumpier still.
Not a bad tack though.
Honda tacks below, leads them.
So Asco lead.
Yeah, we're on the race leader there.
Pretty nicely.
Good job, lovely start. So this will, he is vying for being top Australian boat and third overall. So an early start, good start for the boys on Asco, James Doran. That's Asco with Honda Marine behind him.
Good pressure at the corner here, 12 to 14 knots, where the camera cat is. We're just on the northern side of Bradley's Head. So pleasant uprange, big rig, really.
So we've got Vintech in shot.
A nice lead at the moment to Asco.
Got to watch the
Yeah.
Noakes sailing there on camera with the white insignia on his sail. He's going back into Bradley's. Tide coming in, flood tide. Oh, and Smeg going right across towards Shark Island. He's just done one tack after the start. He's going right across. Honda's tacked midstream to come back. And where's Mersk? Oh, he's sat on Mersk. That's why Honda's tacked.
Yeah. Mersk's having to go back. Oh no, he's
staying on.
Just up inside his jib, sorry.
Yeah.
Asco leading by about 60 metres, which is pretty impressive actually, isn't it?
Yeah, my word.
Pretty bumpy in the middle there.
Okay, both Asco and Smeg are tacked onto starboard. Smeg's hard right. and looks reasonable up on the Shark Island shore. A few boats punching back off Bradley's, but that's Smeg and Asco with Noakes Sailing going across in the foreground. There's Honda Marine. Maersk is buried behind him, and he's sitting right in the gas of Honda. He's lived there, or tried to live there for some time. Yandu's done well. And Kitchen Maker, they're just taking the duck behind Honda.
Yeah, too much infighting between the other guys over there on the right, so. Oh, the Maersk is really...
He's suffering there, isn't he?
Yep, but he's hanging in.
Yes, there's... It's Asco that leads. Kitchen Maker's well placed. He's going across on port with Yandu. As we see a cruising yacht going across in the foreground. And Yandu has tacked. There's Quality Marine Clothing coming up on starboard. He's in about certainly the top 8 or so.
A lot of boats punched out all the way to the right, haven't there?
Well, Smeg's sort of midstream now, but he went the furthest right early on. Some have gone a bit further, but he's back now in contact with the leader, Asco.
Have a go, boss.
So now the breeze, where Maersk and Honda is, a little bit more pressure here. I saw a little bit of flick of the main on Maersk a second ago.
A bit of 14 here was, and you know, kind of nearly at the crossover. And proof of that is that Noakes sailing with a little rig in, admittedly pretty light crew, but they will be in the top 3 here.
They'll cross Honda. That's Honda and Maersk with Noakes going across on port. He crosses Honda quite well. So as Andrew said, a small rig on, which will probably hurt him downwind, but at the moment it's certainly not affecting him upwind. He's going out in the mid-harbour. Asco is going to cross Noakes, is he?
Yes, he
will.
Yeah.
But we're on the 2 New Zealand boats. Okay, now there's back to Asco and Noakes. Noakes just taking Asco's stern, and Smeg will be probably next to come up, but Noakes is across him. So the 2 New Zealand boats, tack for tack, they're in Chowder Bay, in Taylor Bay.
About 40 metres apart.
Yeah, both on port.
And with that performance of Noakes with the second rig, that's a good indication that the breeze is approximately 15 knots, because that's the crossover.
Exactly was, 14, 15, yep. Now it's sort of structurally a bit strange this wind today, but it's showing no signs of getting lighter up the track.
So we're halfway up the beat, we're off Taylor Bay, coming up to Chowder Head. The fleet, Asco standing into Chowder Head. He's just another 50 or so metres before he tacks and comes out with hopefully a nice left-hander for him, which looks as though it will be. He's heading as he goes in. And the fleet, it's fairly condensed at the moment.
Yeah, it's fair to say it's the most densely packed beat I think we've seen this week, is it, Pete?
Well, it's probably the overall the best conditions. It's not extreme by any means. It's just a lovely sailing breeze, not fluky like the sou'easter and easterlies we've seen over the last couple of days. So it's just a good test of sailing out here in lovely conditions on the harbour.
Pretty big left-handers here on the left edge, guys.
Yeah, this is all about tactics and boat speed, fleet management.
Have a look at the Quality Marine. He's really beautiful. On your left, mate. It's not on screen. Honda on screen in the middle of the river, as it were, but definitely a little bit more left-hand air on the left-hand edge. Thank you. Quality Marine looking pretty good. Asco to windward of them in similar air, looking pretty snappy actually. So let's see.
So are they going to play the eastern shore? That's the question. Maersk and Honda heading that way at the moment.
Well, I think they're in a separate race, was the
sure,
two Kiwi boats.
Yeah. I mean, the good book, Andrew, would say with a flood tide and it would go left, wouldn't you? You go up the shore, really?
Well, with this sort of nor'easter, yeah, go left for both reasons. So,
but as you say, the Kiwis, well all to play for them. But as far as the fleet concerned, it's not really to play for. It's just between those two.
We'll find out when Honda tacks and comes back and engages with ASCO. See what Shaw is favoured, but for me, Honda's extended on Maersk a little bit more since the last time we mentioned it.
Yeah, Maersk does not look like they're travelling very well.
Yeah.
No, he's struggling.
Yeah. And, you know, I could say for the benefit of the viewers that, you know, he's got a 3-year-old mainsail there, which isn't doing him any favours. It's a pretty low-budget campaign and probably a bit unfortunate, but we did see him have trouble with what looks like a pretty rubbery sail, in fact.
Yeah, that's the middle pack going starboard into Chowder Bay, Clifton Gardens. ASCO's tacked out off Clifton Gardens to go back up into George's Head, which again the good book says you get a nice left-hander off there. But the interest, of course, in the two New Zealand boats, Honda holding a very substantial lead over Maersk about halfway up the first beat. They're in on the Steel Point, Nielsen Park shore, easternmost boats. SeaTech also from New Zealand going across with them. So the New Zealanders going right, and the Sydney siders, who you'd think would know this track, have basically gone left, the leading group.
Yeah, well, we've got Finport up here coming on the eastern shore, Pete, and the American team of Harkin.
So, and on this right-hand edge, guys, no sign of any northerly air. It's just regulation northeast on the eastern side of the track here. And plenty of wind, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah,
good pressure here.
14, 15, 16 rather than 12, 14. So that's a big change. Maersk now fully inverted into mainsail. So,
and that's Honda dead upwind of him, or not dead upwind, but upwind of him. They're the two New Zealand boats. They're coming back to make contact with the bulk of the fleet. And Honda's not going to be far from this lead. There's Yandu, well placed. John Winning going right or to the east on the harbour. If anyone should know which way to go, he should. Born and bred on the harbour. We're on Maersk at the moment. All to do. Across in front of him is Harkin as the Manly ferry goes ploughing down through the fleet. Vintech just ducking behind Maersk. And I like Honda, Andrew. He's really percolating.
Well, he's been fast with this rig in this slightly uprange stuff. So Maersk can't live with him at the moment, I can say that. So Harkin will be up into the small numbers here. Kitchen Maker's going to cross Maersk as well.
Well, I think the right paid in the end, because Honda, for me, is leading the race.
What's happened to the ASCO?
He's on the western shore.
He's there. It's hard to see his black sails against the headland there, Andrew.
Invisible.
Yeah.
And just to let you know, Maersk has gone back to the right. They've broken away from Honda. Let's see what Honda does. Do they go back and cover off?
Stealth.
Yes, he is.
Stealth mode on the ASCO. Well, that's what you'd expect. I think, Honda's very close to the lead there, I would say, but they're going to pay attention to their rival. More wind on the left edge here now again, so don't know.
Well, he's opened up a very nice break on Maersk. He's heading in towards Watson's Bay. It's midstream, mid-harbour. Beautiful day on the Sydney Harbour. And it looks like Honda and ASCO will be vying for the lead.
Yeah.
And we're 2/3 the way up the first beat. Yandu gone right into Nielsen Park.
And Smeg also struggling to get up to the front, near the front of the fleet as well.
Yes. But at the moment, John Winnie has gone hard right. Looks pretty good coming along that Nielsen Park shore. But it's Honda and ASCO, the two boats duelling for the lead. And duelling for first place overall in Honda's position, and ASCO duelling for third overall.
So ASCO on shot, and they've pulled away from Noakes with their second rig on. So the big rigs are their favoured rig for sure. Don't know if ASCO close to lay, but we're not sure yet.
Let's have a look at that, Was. I think he's on the low.
Yeah, I just don't want to interfere with Noakes, Bucko.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. At the moment, he's looks pretty good. Honda's down and in the right.
Yeah, exactly.
Big time down.
But he might have just done that to cover off.
Yeah,
Mersk.
he was just covering. I mean, and Mersk didn't really have a choice, I don't think. So.
Yeah, they had to try and break away, but Honda wouldn't let them have.
They had to try and get away. Exactly right. Mersk looks okay.
Yes,
but,
he does now.
Honda's well in front of him.
Yeah, Noakes will do well. They'll be in the top bunch.
Yeah, Noakes is it second or third here, Was, I think.
Yeah, but they have lost a little bit of ground to Asco.
Well short of the lay. Honda now has just tacked, coming across Watson's Bay side. He's quite high on starboard. Mersk still well behind him.
Yes. Mersk got back in front of Harkin, I think.
Yes.
Pete. Yep. So, and I think the Mersk is enjoying slightly less wind over there. Just looking at his mainsail flapping before wasn't good.
So
Quality Marine just going ahead of Intech. They're standing off on port, going across to the eastern side. Kitchen Maker coming back with the yellowish jib on the right, and left of him is Finport, 5th overall at the moment on the points. And Asco and Honda are about to get very close. That is not the mark to the left of Asco. That's another Yachting Association buoy, but it's the buoy further up that's out of screen at the moment. Honda will go behind Asco. So Asco leads.
About 2 boat lengths in it.
Asco tacks, not a great tack. Honda smoking here. So we're almost at the Beechel buoy, the turning buoy. They're about 80 metres short.
And pretty windy, Pete.
Right,
pretty windy at the can here,
yeah?
14 and a bit. 15.
And critically, when Honda tacks, Asco will have right, so they have to be very careful here.
Yeah, he'll be very conservative, I think, Mr. Honda. He'll probably almost wait till Asco tacks before he tacks.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, he won't be doing anything too stupid here.
Okay, there goes Asco. They're in tandem. Asco tacks. Honda well overlaid, but that's the nature of the
terrible
game.
tack on the Honda.
Oh, bad tack from Asco again.
Not their first one for the week.
No, it's
Pete.
not. So they're a boat length ahead of Honda.
And Noakes here on the port tack ley line in third.
They've done well up that beach, Sean. And his
watching
boys.
the bear away here. Mersk has got themselves up to 4th, guys, so that's a pretty good effort, isn't it?
Yep.
Great tack on the Mersk. Did you see that was? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, so Noakes sailing. Sean Langman on the small rig, he's round 3rd, and Mersk. Somehow he's 4th, and he's closed the gap there slightly on Honda, probably about 30-second delta or less to Honda. That's the real battle. Harkin next.
And bit of trouble setting their chute on the Noakes sailing. Mersk, great set, gone.
So Pete, Mersk has to finish 2 boats ahead of Honda, don't they?
Oh, Jesus. Mersk got trapped there. Danger for them.
Okay, the charge is on to Shark Island. Plenty of wind. Spectator.
Nice cruising.
Spectators,
nice cruising boat in the way here. Oh,
yeah. Oh dear, this cruising boat.
Well, he wouldn't have known what was about to happen. But Noakes just gets over, but Mersk, what about Mersk? That's the critical one. Mersk has to jibe away. Mersk has to jibe away from that cruising yacht.
Well, that could be expensive.
Yeah. Bit of yelling going on.
No, they did not need that right then, and they're soft going back. Yeah. Oh dear. And Honda bounces into the lead.
Down off Nielsen Park, going into Steel Point.
Honda got over Asco pretty easily there.
Yeah, he did. Asco going up. Bit of pressure. The race is on. So that's the jibe mark at Shark Island they're heading for. But they'll have to jibe out of there at the moment, Andrew.
Yeah, no, they've got quite a long way to sail on starboard. So Mersk might not be completely unhappy with that. He wasn't quite ready, but as ever, he's trying to figure out what the cruising boat's going to do, and as it turned out, the cruising boat did nothing, so they had to jibe. But harbour, plenty of bump, isn't it, Pete?
Yeah. Bumpy, bumpy, bumpy.
Honda jives.
And Mersk is on port, so the situation will restore itself shortly. He's probably got to go about 200 yards on starboard jibe. Mersk coming in pretty hot from the other side.
Split here, then Asco's still running into Steel Point. Not great pressure. Honda out in mainstream. He was the leader before they split. Asco here with a red chute going right into Steel Point. Now jibing. There he goes.
Nice smooth water though, Pete.
Yes, indeed.
And a pretty good jibe.
Mainsail through. Honda, meanwhile, has jibed back to come on port.
So it just gives Asco the option here. Being the inside boat is pretty handy. And Honda did a pretty poor jibe. So you'd expect Asco will be back in front here.
Yeah, and I think Mersk has lost out by doing that jibe when he got tangled up with cruising boats and other yachts. He's behind, certainly behind Noakes Sailing.
Well, he was behind them anyway.
Behind him, but he's kitchen maker going across on starboard. No, he's probably might have lost a boat length or two.
Yeah, he's in front of kitchen maker.
Just,
so,
yep.
So that's an okay result for him, you know.
Okay, Asco jibing.
I thought the Mersk had done a good job and escaped there at the windward mark, but he didn't quite get through the lee of Noakes.
So Asco back in the lead.
Yes. Yep.
As they power down towards Shark Island.
So the boat that's fallen from grace here is a Smeg.
Yes, yeah.
He's back in 10th or 9th.
Yeah, right. So that's good news for Asco, trying to hold on to 3rd place in this championship.
But we're on the series leader at the moment.
Now, guys,
a long way to go.
Yeah, we're
on
Asco at the moment.
Honda battle, yeah.
Honda, Oscar. But just looking back in the fleet a bit, Pete, it's sort of Noakes' youth is, Noakes is kind of holding up the fleet to some degree here.
And too, Andrew, I think is Mersk on a lower line than.
Oh, he's got a great line, Mersk.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that, you know, depending on what happens in this next little bit, that might help them a little bit.
So
Noakes, I would imagine, needs to get out of there.
He's got a job, yeah, exactly. So
he can't live there.
He can't live there.
Mersk
is at full load. Yeah, I don't think you can do it though, was
No, I agree with you. Cut your pain now.
Yep, just take the pill, swallow.
Exactly.
You know. Have a look at this.
Honda getting very lifted.
Honda getting lifted as well.
Yeah.
Noakes lifted, Honda lifted. And the Mersk lower. He's in the right spot, the Mersk.
Yeah.
So they've done a great job, those guys.
Now Honda a little bit more headed.
Yeah, but in VMG mode now was, so...
Absolutely.
Speed's off a bit. And Harkin had to jibe out as well, further back. So Harkin was 4th. And he's jibed out.
And Asco 3 strings hammered down. Honda, as Bucko said, in VMG mode at the moment, trying to get depth when they can to cover off Mersk, who is coming back to them. If you come round to the right a little bit, you'll pick up Mersk. And Mersk is definitely coming back to this light.
Yeah, Asco will lead here fairly comfortably, I think.
Yeah.
No problem at all. Just by staying in the wind.
There's Mersk. He's at pressure. He's lower than Honda.
Yeah. 2nd and 3rd.
So he's closed the gap on Honda.
They've disposed of the rest of the fleet pretty readily there, haven't they?
Yes,
they have.
Wow. But Asco's done the job down here. Great sailing.
Well, Mersk has done an equally good job, Pete.
Yeah.
Even though they did have a little issue with a cruising boat, they've found a solution. So was he probably killing it over there?
Okay, we're on Asco. That's the jibe mark. He's just gone past. He's running past it. Honda way high.
Hard here. Sorry, Mersk pressed really hard here. Yep. Might have flagged a chute for a sec to get to the mark.
So we're on Mersk, approaching the Shark Island jibe mark.
But he's back in the yacht race, isn't he?
Yep, the old totem pole as we
Yep, he's having the flag.
He's flagging it. He should be okay. He's got mark. Well, you just see the mark now right on his spinnaker.
That's one of those marks you can't hit, Pete.
No, you cannot hit that.
Made of steel.
Make a bit of a mess of you.
I noticed even the Peroni hasn't hit that one, have they?
No. Well, there's the two New Zealand boats. Honda just going across in front of Mersk. Lead of about 40 metres.
Well, this could be trouble for a few of them. Got to charter boat, big charter boat coming through here.
Where's he going, this bloke? He's going to make things interesting.
Yeah.
He's going whale watching according to the sign, Pete, so good luck with that.
All right, so what do we got? We've got Asco first, Honda Marine second, Maersk Line third, Finport fourth, Kitchen Maker fifth, Harkin sixth, Yandu seven, then it'll be Quality Marine, Vintech Smeg.
That's the top 10. And then the peloton.
And then the peloton.
The peloton all glued together as usual.
Okay. Quality Marine jibing, Yandu jibing with a red and blue chute. Quality Marine with a black chute.
And Noakes, that has gone from, was third, Pete, is back in the pack now, just getting caught too high and caught out with that second rig downwind.
Yeah, got gobbled up by the peloton, but didn't do himself any favours, did he?
No, he didn't.
No, just got hammered.
Okay.
Okay, so we're out of here and we'll chase the leaders down again.
So they've all gone well past the mark to jibe to give them a good angle into the turning mark at Clark Island. The next long beat up to the Beachel Buoyant Sound Pigs, the second beat at 3. At the moment it's Asco, the leader, from Honda and Maersk. It's the real battle. Who can take the trophy back across the Tasman? Will it be Maersk? Will it be Honda Marine?
So out of the fleet, for the people watching, the Smeg's taking the most extreme leeward course. But the wind here very true northeast. So that
there's not much pressure. Maersk is rolling down to Honda. He's got a good Honda coming up around his bow slightly, but still Honda leads Maersk.
And they need the likes of Finport, Kitchen Maker, Harkin to get involved in this battle, so they can put a couple of votes between them and Honda if they can get ahead of Honda to change the outcome.
Yeah. Now, Pete, what would you have done if you were on Love and War and that happens?
The boys preferred to nothing to do with the racing for the yacht, a little bit of trouble. In need of coaching.
Okay.
We're nearly at the bottom.
We're back in the races. Asco leads. Approaching the leeward turning mark, just dropping his spinnaker now. He'll be nicely in front. Honda and Maersk both barrelling in.
So these guys, remember, are first, second, third in the championship as it stands. That is with Asco third, Maersk second, and Honda Marine leading.
So Asco round.
Here's a good test for the bowman.
Yep.
Here we go. Maersk about to
pushing
drop.
Hard. Yep.
But they'll go around in that order with just about 15 seconds or 10 seconds gap between each boat. So
Honda round now.
So Maersk has come back to the big time, right, boys?
Yeah.
Great run from them.
And then Finport come back in as 4th place as well. So Maersk just desperate to get to this mark, get on the win. There they go. About 10 seconds behind Honda. Finport 4th, Kitchen Maker 5th, Harkin 6th. All boats coming into the leeward mark. Breezes, not hasn't increased that much, probably about 10 or 12 knots down here. And
it's a nice, comfortable bit of 12 down at the drop zone, and then it builds as you go towards Bradley's Head.
Kitchen Maker round, then Harkin from the United States. His jibs just coming out now. Had his batten twisted around the headstay. Now Quality Marine, Yandu, Vintech, still no Smeg. Here's Smeg coming in from leeward.
Maersk on port in front of the camera.
So Honda's tacked on him too. So game on here, which it has to be.
Well, he stuck Honda up into the lee of the ferry, so that's pretty good stuff. Oh, wow, Honda's bow down reaching, pressing
Honda
forward.
and Maersk tack early.
Yeah.
So does Harkin.
Honda's going to hurt a bit more here from the ferry.
So you have to say this will probably help Asco, because these two are going to sail their own race, not concerned about winning the race, so they can really let Asco go. As we keep saying it, they cannot lose first or second place. They can only be the worst second, best first for those two. And for Asco, the best he can be is third. So at the moment, he's doing a very nice job. It's their boat that can really upset him. Smeg has just gone round, so he's a good minute and a half behind him. in 10th place.
Up. All right, so the top 10 around, we've got then Rag and then Triple M trailing this lot, and then DeLonghi's coming in, and was it C-Tech a long way back for them? Yep, C-Tech, Lumix and Ilve. All right, let's go out and see this battle out on the right, I reckon, between Maersk and Honda.
Majority of fleet have just gone round the mark and heading towards Bradley's Head. The two New Zealanders have gone right up the course. They're back now on starboard, coming off Point Piper and going up the middle of the harbour. Honda leads Maersk by about 60 or so metres. Asco the race leader.
And the Kitchen Maker is coming back to these guys.
Having a good race. He's probably his best race of the series so far. Scotty Babbage and the boys. There's the two New Zealanders going across the bow of one of the Spectator ferries. Honda Marine mid-screen. Maersk just gone behind the ferry. You'll see Maersk in a moment. There's Maersk. They're above Bradley's Head, so they're laying in to the eastern side of Bradley's Head. Asco is coming across now on port off Bradley's, still with a nice clear lead.
And they're heading into a lot of wash off Bradley's Head. There's a lot of boats. It's the busiest channel on the harbour. So it's like the turning point for a lot of boats that are going in and out of their moorings at different places to anchor for the day. So I think Finport's done better. So these guys are potentially getting pushed back down the fleet.
I mean, it's always the case that the correct route to Bradley's is worth about 30 seconds, and that's what you're seeing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or 20 seconds anyway.
It's normally worth the gain.
Yes, Finport coming around the stern of Maersk.
Has to duck.
And Asco won probably nearly 1 minute to the good here on Honda. So he's having a nice old cruise.
There's Finport, fifth on the points going into the final race.
Had some good races.
They have.
I've lost the Kitchen Maker. Scotty Babbage and the team.
Just on the starboard quarter, what?
Finport won the very breezy third heat, a very strong southerly. So he's been there or thereabouts in this regatta. He's going out on port across towards the Shark Island side, and as is Asco, well to windward of he's going out across there as well.
Harkin hang in there. Riley Gibbs from the US had some really good results, but a little bit up and down.
Honda and Maersk both tack now, so cameras on Harkin, also on port, but
they're just going behind the Kitchen Maker.
Yeah.
And that's Smeg.
The Kitchen Maker up to fourth.
Yeah. No, they've been coming forward.
Yep.
Okay. Here's the battle. Here's the Kiwis. Maersk left, Honda right. Honda not letting him out of his grip by any means.
No.
Lovely breeze at the moment, probably 12, 14 knots. They're standing off Bradley's Head into middle of the harbour going across towards the Nielsen Park side of the course. We'll see Asco shortly go across the bow of these two. Very nice lead. He has, oh, here goes Maersk, he's tacked, okay. Honda, he will tack, I would think. There he goes.
Not letting him go.
No.
Still.
Okay. Let's go up and have a look at Asco while these two belt each other around the ears, and then we'll come back to them a little bit later.
Great shot of Asco, the race leader. James Doran, Paul Montague and Harry Bethwaite. Just passing the Lady Hope and the old steam vessel. It used to be the yacht of the Maritime Services Board. Just see its bow sticking out there. She's out watching the fleet today. Part of the Australian Historical Museum. But it's all Asco. Here we are, close up with the boys, working hard. Paul Montague on the sheet.
Pretty handy rig, this single spreader rig, eh, Bucko?
Yeah, it's certainly not lacking, is it?
Take a little header. He's going in towards, he's across Taylor Bay, going into Chowder Head. Looking for that left-hander to go back out on. It's choppy water, a few discourteous spectator boats going right across in front of him. Another one in the moment.
World's largest rib.
Yeah, just, you know, really no idea, these people, no idea. Stops to have a look, well, just creates Bondi surf. You know, just...
Good eye, Pete.
Come on, Bucko, harden up. Take a spoonful of cement, brother.
Harden up, Princess. Okay, I've got it.
I've got it.
Yeah, the cameraman.
We're on Finport. He's there or thereabouts. He'll be vying for third or fourth. He's in mid-harbour.
Good pressure here, guys, on this edge here.
And actually, Finport crossed clearly of Honda Marine and Maersk.
Yeah, right.
So Finport will be up to second. As we say, the battle between Maersk and Honda is irrelevant to the whole race context. They're just fighting for the first overall, and they are not really worried about where they finish on the race course. So that's opened the door for Finport to get through to second, and Asco is still the leader.
Water doesn't look too bad between here and the top mark.
No, nice.
Traffic-wise, it's starting to calm down a little bit.
Nice breeze.
Looking a little bit more.
12-14.
Yeah, a bit steadier.
Yeah, no, definitely a little bit more wind on this edge, Pete.
And for our New Zealand friends, Honda still puts the big cover on Maersk. They're going in towards Rose Bay. They haven't got much pressure, and the bulk of the fleet are catching right up to them. There's the tack from Finport.
Amazing, went well early. I'm not sure what that was about, actually.
Leading them back, I don't know. They're leading Asco back.
But look how high Asco is on port, what?
He's on a ripper up there on the left hand. That's Chowder Bay in the background.
And that's 15 degrees left of Finport, you know.
Yeah.
You can't ignore that. So the run might actually be interesting looking at that too, Warwick. They will have to jibe set, I think.
That'd be the standard play in this.
Yep, with its nor'easter on this edge here.
Yeah.
So it's a straight run back to Clark Island, a VMG run back down the harbour. No Shark Island this time. The final time they'll go round Shark Island. This time, just a direct run back to the Leeward Mark and Clark Island. And we're on Asco, the race leader. Two New Zealanders are in Rose Bay, both on port tack, fighting hard at each other. Just off camera now, Maersk has tacked. Honda will tack shortly on him. Still Honda leads by about 50 to 60 metres. But meanwhile, Asco keeps on keeping on.
He'll be enjoying this, Pete. You know, he's been let off the hook.
Yes,
just having a nice cruise, really.
And a beautiful run between he and the Weather Mark. There's hardly any traffic.
Exactly. Finport, you know, conceded the left side, so Asco's got not a care in the world.
So Keegan York, Matt Stender and Angus Williams been putting in some strong performances. Haven't done a lot of miles together this season, but the two boys do a lot of professional sailing.
Yeah, they'd be ruining a couple of times where they ended up on the riding lever in this regatta.
They've had a pretty consistent series. They've had a second, a ninth, a first. 13th was a tough one, then a third, a 17th in one of those fluky days, a ninth and a fourth. So he's been relatively consistent.
Yeah, they did get on the fin pretty big time one day there.
We've had some,
where they were nearly leading the race, Pete.
Yeah, sorry, Spectator boat nearly taken me out fin port then.
Okay. There's Joshua Slocum just going across in front of the boat now. There's Joshua. He's bound for Cape Horn. But Maersk and Honda have gone right into Steel Point. Honda pushed him so far they ran out a little bit of breeze there, Maersk. But still Honda holds the advantage. They're the two of them coming off Steel Point on not a great heading by any means.
Well, they're having a good fight, but the Asco's just lit up and gone basically here. I mean,
yeah, there's Finport going into the Nielsen Park shore at Vaucluse, eastern side of Sydney Harbour.
All right, well, let's see if we can pick up someone else. I'll go back and have a little look at Harkin, Riley Gibbs with Pete Harris and Daniel Phillips on the sheet. Riley stepping in for Howie Hamlin at the last minute. Hasn't done that many miles in 18s, that's for sure. Very little, in fact, and they've been doing an awesome job considering how much time they've been on the water.
He's telling me this morning that after he leaves Australia tomorrow, he's going to on a kite flying regatta.
Yeah, right.
Do they have regattas? Kite flyers, I guess that's what it is. Yeah.
I think he finished top 10 in the world in the recent regatta, talking to Howie. Howie rates him as one of the best talents in American sailing at the moment out of the younger group, doing a NACRA 17 Olympic campaign. Got a big powerboat coming down here that I don't think is slowing down, Pete.
No.
Now he starts to turn a little bit.
Bit of tacking going on over there between Honda and Maersk up the eastern edge.
Yeah, and
they're winding their way back in the fleet pretty quickly, actually, aren't they?
They are. But Honda hasn't done as much damage to Maersk on this beat as the previous beat, I don't think.
Maersk's tacks are better than Honda's on average, Warwick. Yeah. Okay. So 10 tacks, and they probably chew him up a little bit, yeah?
Okay, so that's off Nielsen Park. So Harkin goes ahead of those two. So now our placings, as we best see them, is Asco still in the lead, Finport second, and then possibly Kitchen Maker, then Harkin. Maersk breaking away again, trying to break that cover of Honda. There goes Honda.
That's
goes
great,
like
isn't
an
it?
ad shippers. Yeah, there goes Honda.
There goes Honda.
And Yandu
coming up their exhaust pipe.
Yeah. And just behind this lot, there's Yandu, who's clawing their way up into the battle. So we've now got Yandu in shot, just coming up to Bottle and Glass on the northern side of Nielsen Park.
So
Beach.
what Honda is trying to do, obviously, is stay in front of Maersk, but drive them, both of them back in the fleet, which means that this race could be both of their discard.
Yeah.
Have a look though, Pete. I mean, Maersk here is now nearly clear air on his leeward edge.
Yeah,
not much separation.
No, he's got back to him there.
Yeah. Really got back to him. This
is exciting. Very exciting.
Less than a boat length between them. Will Maersk do another one to the right? There they go.
We're nowhere near the lay line, so he can afford to go back. What's Honda going to do? He's going to let him...
Oh, he'll let him go, I think, this time, Pete.
Honda Marine just settling down. Honda Marine not responding. Happy to sort of go to potentially a little bit better air.
Merce going right into bottle and glass.
Yep. So Honda's had enough of that engagement.
Yeah, no, Mersk is in danger here of overstanding the mark, Pete. In fact.
Mersk just tacked. Right, that's Yandu right of screen. Mersk left of screen, right in on bottle and glass.
All right, we'll might go up and just get the top mark roundings, and then we'll do the run with the...
Well, Asco's round.
Asco's
Asco's around. Nice clear lead from Finport.
And not jibe setting. Maybe a bit more eastern, this bucko.
Yeah, it might have rotated a little, indeed.
In the lead. Next around is Finport.
So roughly 40 seconds of delta.
Okay, so Finport around in second, and next boat will be the Kitchen Maker.
Yep.
And
Mark and Smeg's come back into this.
Exactly, out of shot.
Yeah.
Smeg has come right back.
Surprise, surprise,
Smeg
surprise.
crosses Honda. So as you said, well, Mersk was out of shot. They just got a huge header then.
No, there was a lull,
was it?
Bit of
Okay.
little spike of
nuts. Caught the back end of it.
A negative spike of wind.
Smeg just tacking on the starboard. He will be 1, 2, 3, Kitchen Maker 3, Harkin 4, Smeg 5. Well, certainly not helping Smeg at all because he's got to get well in front of Asco.
I reckon Mersk has come to
Honda. Wow, this is interesting. This is interesting.
Pretty,
Honda let him go for the first time
pretty
up the Nielsen Park shore. Now Mersk has put his nose in front.
Pretty slow
Honda.
Slow tack on the Honda.
Smeg just tacking weather mark. Mersk next around. Well, what does all this mean? Well, they've got to get themselves back up into the places here.
Yes.
Mersk.
Well, now they've got opportunity, haven't they? Because, I mean, not that far ahead of them is Smeg, Harkin, Kitchen Maker. And if they could dispose of those three and Honda couldn't, that would change the outcome, I believe.
Well, there goes Mersk. He's around. Yandu coming in next to go around. Mersk is round.
Oh, Mersk.
Just missed the sheet then.
Yep.
Got it now. Honda's got it. Oh, Honda's lost it.
Yeah, no, Honda's
Honda's nearly in the tide.
Yeah. Smeg's jibed away early. And it's a VMG run right down the harbour to Clark Island.
Yeah, about 1.7 mile VMG run here. Plenty of opportunities. A bit of complexity. I think the Smeg's going to roll the dice and go hard down the western shore. And no doubt these other guys are going to cover each other all the way to the finish, one way or another.
Game on here. Mersk and Honda Marine. Mersk now, for the first time in this race, in front. Narrowly.
Honda starting a little bit hotter mode. So a lot of the boats now have jibed.
Yeah, and I think Mersk will let him get to bow to bow and just jibe away. Mersk doesn't need to pursue him.
Here goes Mersk.
Yep.
So now what will Honda do? Will he chase him?
No, I don't think so. Honda will just minimise his jibes, I think was.
Okay, we're on Honda, running in towards Nielsen Park. Gorgeous day on
Here he goes.
Here he goes.
Oh, a little wobble.
through. Yep.
So they've gone back too.
Okay, you can see on the rider screen with the white spinnaker, that's Mersk.
Mersk will bow down.
Yeah. Breeze only about 12 knots here, not that great pressure.
More wind on the western side.
Yeah, more wind to where they're going. That's the western side of Sydney Harbour. The fleet barrelling downwind. Asco way ahead of Finport. They're first and second. Kitchen Maker is third. Harkin fourth.
Smeg
fifth. And then Honda and Merce battling it out for sixth. So somehow Merce got to wriggle his way up and put a few boats between he and Honda.
Well, he's having a good go.
He's having a crack at it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good on him. Merce in better pressure, I believe.
Yeah, and
well, a thrilling end to this thrilling contest we've seen. That these two New Zealand boats have been brilliantly consistent throughout in all conditions, and here they are again, locked together. No one still knows who's going to be the champion.
So the big question is, can Mersk make advances on the boats in front? That's going to be the big one.
Yeah, if he even just got one boat there, that would give him a great deal of heart, and very difficult then for Honda to do anything.
Honda now bow down.
It's close.
Yeah,
very close.
Mersk will be driving in the next minute, I'd imagine.
No, I think he'll keep going here, was.
Well, they haven't got, they started to run into real estate.
Yeah, but he can go all the way to the big cruising boat, can't he?
Can't go over the top of the hill, Bucko.
No, but he's bow down and he's in the header and the stronger wind now, so he's enjoyed that. Look where Kitchen Maker's gone, Warwick. He's
a
long way in plenty down there. Like, that's the best wind. Like I said, the wind structure a bit unusual today, but
Mersk's done okay
Mersk,
here.
I think they've extended. Yeah, they've got away from Honda.
And they're bow to bow with Smeg. They were very close too.
Yeah.
Bit of traffic. Honda's got some on now.
Honda are about to go through some ferry wake in a second. Shouldn't be a problem.
The old story, what could possibly go wrong? The correct answer is quite a bit.
Okay, we've got out of shot to our left. We've got Harkin.
He's going to have to jibe, I think, here.
This is getting busy and bumpy down here.
Yep.
Yeah. We're on Honda, chasing hard on Mersk. Mersk still hasn't jibed. He's running right into the shore here at Taylor Bay.
Look at this water. We're just getting smacked around.
Ferries everywhere now.
It's a pretty big power.
Oh. Come on, Bucko, hard enough.
Yeah.
That is some big waves. Whoa. Okay. Merce setting up. We're on that, yep. They're driving now. Here we go.
Beautiful job too. Look at that.
So
they're going to cross
Honda.
Yep,
pretty easily.
They've made gains on Honda.
Yeah, Honda driving early. Okay, so they're just running down the Bradley's Head shore, the eastern side of Bradley's Head, to get out and around the headland and down to Clark Island, the leeward mark, where Asco is almost round. He's right down there. He's got a huge lead from these two and about a minute lead over Finport, who was second. But this is the battle for the outright championship right here, right now.
Well, Mersk's done the first part of the job. They got back in front of Honda.
Yeah,
exactly.
But they need to pass two more boats in the last lap, which is a pretty big ask.
Well, they've extended, haven't they, really? Harkin and Smeg.
We've got boats all around us.
Yeah. Spectator boats, there's ferries, there's 18-footers. It's Sydney Harbour at very, very best, or worst, whichever way you want to look at it, but it is spectacular. And the spectators, there's literally heaps of spectator boats out here, all full of crews. And two ferries jam-packed. They're seeing a great race as Meg now on the red spinnaker comes across in front of Mersk.
Not a lot between Mersk and Smeg now.
Smeg going across behind Harkin.
Yeah, Mersk all week has been slightly faster downhill than Smeg was. If they just had a regulation run, you'd expect him to gain, you know, 10 or 20 seconds.
Don't throw away your tickets yet, boys and girls. It's still game on.
Absolutely.
I think if you're Finport or Asco, you'd be pretty assured of first or second place.
They've bolted, haven't they, Pete?
Yeah, I think the Ascos had a blessed day, haven't they, really?
Sure have.
We'll round them out in the top three.
And that's the sort of biggest lead that we've seen in the series so far, probably.
Yeah, I think that's correct, isn't it? Essentially, they're a bit over a minute. Smeg would have to be driving shortly, you'd think.
So remember, Smeg had to be in front of Asco and have boats between them to take third place away from Asco.
Yes, so her hopes of a dash to doing that.
Pretty much.
Got himself nearly up to fourth, Smeg, though. It's not a bad effort from where he was up that first beat.
No, the word fullback came to mind there for a while, didn't it?
He's good at getting back into it.
So we've got about 38 odd 40 minutes left of racing.
In this year's championship, that's right, Warwick. As Harkin's the boat barrelling in with a white spinnaker. You'll see him shortly coming left of picture. There's Harkin, and to the right with the white spinnaker was the kitchen maker.
So they're right there, aren't they, guys? Like Mersk is right there with three of them.
It won't take many errors from some of these other guys
exactly
to get a result for
At this
Mersk.
mark, it'll be Harkin and kitchen maker. No, Harkin's short. He's got a jibe, or has he?
No, he's just dropping.
Yeah, okay, so he'll get round third. Kitchen maker 4, Smeg 5, and Mersk barrelling in 6th. Honda 7.
Look at them. There's nothing in it between them.
No, that's the battle for third.
That's a rack up.
So if Mersk can get himself up to third and leave Honda back there, well, who knows?
See, Mersk is slowing down so they don't get caught out by Smeg. Smeg a little bit wobbly coming into the mark. Could be a bit wide. Oh, Lee winds the wheel. Ends up tight, so Mersk right up the back.
And Mersk very tidy. I'll probably tack.
Yeah. Yeah, to match.
No, he's going through to leeward.
No, they're to leeward.
So yeah, that's gutsy stuff.
It, yeah, whether he can get locked. Gutsy going to leeward a Smeg.
So what's Honda going to do?
Smeg's a bit unsettled there.
Well, Honda's not tidy yet.
No, they got a man in.
Sorry, Mersk has punched ahead of Smeg. Has clear air, but is now dictated by Smeg.
He's enough to leeward he could tack, Warwick, I think. He put
he's driven off to well to leeward though.
No, that's given sort of back to Honda.
Bit of leverage for Honda there.
He'd still tack and cross him, I think, wouldn't he?
No. Marginal.
Yeah, I'm not sure he did the right thing there, but anyway, he's had to make a decision and he's made one. So
exactly.
So advantage a bit back to Honda there, I think. Because Mersk went right on the stern of Smeg and he drove away to leeward of him, try and get through him, but it's a big job to get through to leeward of Smeg because he's one of the faster boats out here. But
yeah, Honda would have Mersk.
Yeah, Mersk would not cross him if he came back on port.
No.
But it's a drag race now on the starboard tack. And
let's see now, guys. Smeg's got the dirty air on Honda.
Yeah.
So Mersk is going ahead again. And, you know, the Smeg can sail high and slow better than anybody.
There's Peroni coming into the mark with Spinnaker, just white Spinnaker there, Peroni and SeaTac. No shouting on Peroni yet, but they're not close enough to the mark. They would be, but anyway, we will stick on this battle for third.
Mersk tax.
I think this breeze has increased a bit.
Yeah, it's as pretty much as per the brochure, Warwick.
Oh, Mersk taking the stern of Honda.
Just come up that extra 2 knots.
Yep, as we predicted, there's Mersk on port. Now what's Honda going to do?
So what happened there really is that Smeg held Mersk up, and you know Mersk had to do pretty much what he did, I think. So
yeah, well I was watching them, Bucko, and they were trying to slow down.
Yeah, exactly.
Smeg was slow.
Yeah, really slow too.
Enough.
Yeah. A split, big split. Honda's still going. Mersk going the other way. Can Mersk get himself up to third?
Well, Mersk won't be unhappy with that.
No, he won't.
Because
he's out with good pressure.
He's out with pressure, and Honda is going to inevitably get tangled up to some degree with oh, not a good tack from Smeg, but with Smeg and Harkin.
Well, just how far Honda goes in there.
Well, he can't go much further than Smeg.
There he goes, yeah.
So he's...
Okay, they're all on port now.
And a pretty poor tack from the Honda. Mursk is back in front of him, Pete.
Yes, I'd say that's correct, Andrew. One of your better calls of the week, I think.
Probably the best, actually, Pete. I'd show you that.
Got one right.
Got one right after 7 days.
That's right. Not bad, not bad.
No, you've been pretty good. Being harsh.
Oh, well, Pete, you know.
We go back a long way.
Like, as we always say, as Groucho Marx said, even predicting the past is quite difficult. Why would you try and predict the future?
That's right.
Wow, Mursk is making a good fist of this, though, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's a good battle we've got going on between, you know, Mursk, Kitchen Maker, Smeg, Harkin, and Honda Marine.
Mursk does have to get back now, though. He has to get back to the left here.
Yeah, well, they've been doing a pretty good job of picking the tactics.
Well, there's the points leader going to this race, Honda.
So we're still on Mursk.
So Honda's worst performance in this regatta is a 4th. So he's back now in about 6th, but it's all very close between 3rd and 6th and 7th. 2 leaders have gone, Asco and Finport. I think you could say, barring accidents, they will fill the top 2 placings. It's the battle for 3rd that's the exciting one.
Yeah, you'd imagine that Asco will get there without pressure on, you know, but they haven't been that good at completing the tasks through the week on occasions, have they?
And it's worth noting, Pete, that, you know, talking about where Honda is in terms of their lowest position for the regatta so far, these guys and Mursk have probably done double the tax that the rest of the fleet has done.
Correct, yep, correct. Mursk has tacked on the starboard. You'll see Shark Island coming up in the left of screen shortly. So he's gone halfway between Bradley's Head and Shark Island. He's coming across to Honda, which is standing still on port tack. And there's not much in it.
No, they're pretty close.
Not much in it at all. I think Honda might have maintained his narrow advantage that he had up the first speed. Mursk on starboard, Honda on port. Honda having a look under the boom. What's he going to do?
He's going to stand on.
He's going
to duck. He's going to duck. Duck on Honda.
So
big
advantage
duck.
Back Mursk.
Big duck.
Just about
now.
What a great battle.
Now the game's on because Mursk is now going to look to the right side of the course, in my view. Honda's going to the less favoured side. So Mursk could put the hammer down here, perhaps. And I think Warwick he'd be confident of his speed downhill versus Kitchen Maker and probably Smeg.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. They're all pretty equal.
Oh no, he's been faster downhill. He's been faster downhill.
I believe you.
Only slightly, but enough that you could pass somebody, you know.
I haven't had the data loggers on.
No.
So just ahead though is Smeg and Kitchen Maker. So Mursk coming back, and that's of real interest.
Wow, and he's close to Smeg.
Exactly. Like he's caught right up to Smeg. Remember they were together at the bottom mark. Mursk was a bit compromised, but now Mursk is coming back to the Smeg again.
Now the Smeg looks like he'll cross
Smeg going back.
Yamaha pretty easily.
So Smeg wants the left as well.
Yeah, no, he's read the map. Kitchen Maker pretty slow tack. So Mursk is in front of Kitchen Maker, Pete, I think, here.
So Josh Porbeski, Jack Simpson, Dave Hazard on Mursk line.
What do you see with Honda? They don't look
he's down.
Good pressure.
No, he's down and soft.
Yeah.
Is the door slightly ajar here? Is the door slightly ajar for Mursk?
So I think it is, Pete.
More powerboats thundering their way down the harbour with great courtesy.
Courtesy not.
Zero. Let's get back to your Bankstown.
Peter.
Developments.
Peter.
Well, look at it.
I know, it's pretty horrible.
Terrible. Kitchen Maker and got a bit of action here with our mates. Okay, where are we at? There's
so Kitchen Maker
and
out of shot. Oh no, we've got it. It just goes behind Harkin, so Harkin has about a 3 boat length advantage over Kitchenmaker. Absolutely nothing in it, and Kitchenmaker well ahead. If you come round to the right a little bit more, Kashu, you'll pick up Honda, and they have dropped a lot of ground.
Went the wrong way, was.
Yeah, they have dropped a lot of ground. They didn't come back with Maersk, and they've paid heavily for it.
Dave McDiarmid, Matt Stephen, Brad Collins on the Honda. They'll be biting their nails. Maersk just tacked in Taylor Bay. He'll be behind Smeg. He's gone the correct way, as Andrews said, up the left-hand side.
And beautiful smooth water and left-hand air where he is.
Yeah, he's hammering now, Maersk.
So Bull and Maersk is in their court, and to see whether they can crucially get ahead of 2 boats.
Well, the Maersk boys would like their chances from here, Warwick.
Tacked almost on him up there.
Oh, that won't worry him,
clear
mate.
now. He's right. Not a great tack from Harkin.
See, Honda's a little bit better pressure, but still definitely lost ground.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
What's he dropped there? What?
I think Maersk will tack on him here.
Lengths?
Yep, 5. I think Maersk will tack on him though.
Return the favour, Bucko.
I think so.
Well, he knows that's the favoured side. No, is he? Yeah. No, yes, no, yes, no.
Just ease the jib a bit, Pete.
Yeah, that's all he did. Oh, there's another used car dealer going across.
That's the used car detailer, Pete, not a dealer, okay? It's only a little toy boat.
These boys are hard.
No car dealer will be seen dead in that one.
Is a car sale for Savage Harbour. I mean, Mothy.
Mothy.
Okay, Kitchenmaker.
He's not a car dealer, was.
Not anymore.
He's a dealer principal. What are you talking about?
Just crosses Maersk.
Okay, so it's Harkin 3rd, Kitchenmaker 4th, possibly Smeg and Maersk 5th. It's very close, very tight for 3rd. Asco standing in well ahead into Clifton Gardens, Chowder Bay. Off Chowder Head comes Finport in 2nd. So it'll be Harkin 3rd.
Maersk going back to the left.
I think this is one of the biggest splits we've seen between Maersk and Honda in this race.
Good pressure where we are. The camera cat, we're just downwind of Maersk. Pretty good wind, 14, 15, 16 even on the left edge up here, I think. So up range now for the big rig.
Smeg just crosses the Kitchenmaker.
That puts the cat amongst the pigeons, doesn't it?
Yep, and Honda coming back on starboard tack.
Okay, we'll
coming
see.
out. We'll get
Smeg
another
now
indication.
And Maersk will be behind Smeg, I think.
Very close, Pete.
Very close. Smeg on port. No, he's across.
2 boat lengths.
Lee Napton's across, so there's no quarter given here or taken.
This is a fantastic battle.
No free passage here.
So the question now is, Maersk been able to get in front of Kitchenmaker here? Not much in it.
No, not much in it. They're punching in towards Chowder Head, which splits Taylor Bay and Chowder Bay. Kitchenmaker rumbling along the shore. Smeg out in midstream. And here comes Honda, now 50 or 60, 70 metres behind the Maersk. Kitchenmaker's tacked. You'll see him on port coming across the headland there with that yellowish jib, dark mainsail. Maersk going in to go behind him.
Kitchenmaker's going to cross him, yeah.
Kitchenmaker will cross him.
So halfway up the final beat in this World Championship. Door is open for Maersk to turn it round and turn this upside down.
Gee, Pete, good wind on the left edge here now. Lovely. 16, I would say, and so 15, 16.
So can Maersk put the foot down more? Get engaged with Harkin and
Pete, I
Kitchenmaker.
think he'd be happy if he can just be in touch with the windward mark. He's got confidence of his ability to get the boat downhill, and their execution all week has been pretty good.
And Bucko, this could well be decided in that sector when we get down to going to Shark Island, if it gets a bit funky down there.
At the totem pole?
Yeah, well, around that area.
Well, that would be highly appropriate, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The famous totem pole. Many a boat has sunk there.
Okay, so Smeg just crosses ahead of Maersk again. 4 of them locked in there. It's Harkin, Smeg, Kitchenmaker.
No.
Out to the right, all by itself now, Honda Marine.
No change there, guys. Just even. Beautiful smooth water where we are. camera cut, we're just downwind of Smeg.
And Asco's still in the lead?
Asco's gone, barring major accidents.
But given how important this is, we're going to have to stick with the championship battle, and Asco won't get as much coverage as normal.
No, that's correct. So, Ferry coming from Manly, we influencing the decision making here. These guys have to think about whether they can afford to go to the east or come back to the western side of the ferry.
Honda has just tacked mid-harbour, not coming back on a good one by any means.
No.
And I think Maersk will just tack in line with them to go back to the western edge.
Do you think, what's the mindset there, Bucko? Because, I mean, Maersk has put more distance on Honda. Do you think they're worrying about that?
No, they're now worrying about a little bit about Honda.
And getting ahead of the next boat.
Yeah,
That's the big deal.
Go the right way. Exactly.
Otherwise it avails them nothing.
Exactly. But I think it's clear enough to them that the left edge is good. So
yeah, well, there they go.
And they've tacked, so they won't have to tack again for the Manly ferry by the look of it from here. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Yep.
We're on Smeg. You'll see the ferry that we were talking about shortly in camera. There he is now, the ferry, powering down from Manly. He has right away over these skiffs, and Maersk looks as though he's ahead of Smeg. I think you'll see that shortly. Maersk will, or maybe not.
It's
very
close, Pete.
Yeah. Honda will have to tack for the ferry, I think.
I don't think he will.
There they go.
Oh, Honda will. Sorry, yeah. What
Smeg stuck.
Yes.
Well,
one between them.
Well put, Pete.
It's tight, and there's the kitchen maker will come into play too. He's coming around George's head.
And he's gone the other side of the ferry. Maersk squeezing to get round the back of the ferry.
We'll need some good mathematics here, Andrew, to work out what's happening here. Points-wise, but...
Well, Maersk's done everything he could possibly do, I think, this beat. So, let's see.
So will I give you a hypothetical or not?
Wait till we get to the windward mark, I think, mate.
There'll be too much action then. Okay.
Come on, give it to us, Pete.
Yeah, we got a little lull here.
Okay, well, let's just say Maersk can extract himself up to third.
That's going to be very difficult because Harkin's a long way away.
He will go to 22.
Out in the distance, sorry we haven't got enough boats to cover the whole harbour, but looks like Finport's closed in a bit on Asco, perhaps.
Yeah, Finport's gone to Asco pretty well up a beat.
25.
So Maersk now hoping to do their last tack and possibly lay. Okay, there's our leaders there. So Asco about to go around.
Yep.
Just 12. Yep, there's only 3 seconds between Finport and Asco.
I think Asco had a couple of their sloppy tacks. And
geez, you're hard on them, Bucko.
But they wouldn't be.
Look at this. Finport gets a shoot up first.
They wouldn't be particularly concerned.
Roll over the top of Asco. Asco having a problem.
So these guys are on the low.
Finport in the lead.
These guys are on the low, though, was.
Yep, okay. So
Maersk on the port tack low line.
Okay. So
probably going to be in front of Smeg. Has to catch Harkin and Kitchen Maker to get in front on the points table.
Okay, well, Shivers has got the computer out.
Well, I think this is very provisional that even if Maersk finishes third, he can't win, no matter where Honda finishes. Because Honda, if say Honda finishes sixth,
their drops are they?
His drop is a 4, so that'll come into play. He'll add 4 to 17 and get 21. Maersk, if he finishes third, will add 3 to 19 and get 22.
Oh, okay.
So I think what Honda has done is just kept Maersk back in third, let the 2 leaders go, and I think that Honda will win.
Yeah, I think Maersk had to be second and beat him by 3.
So yeah, I think that's right. So
he's pushing down the numbers.
So a battle for the lead, Asco and Finport.
All right, we're going to pull off this because we've got a great battle for the...
No, but Waz, here's the thing. Smeg's no hope of catching Asco. So Asco's got that dusted as well, I'd suggest.
Okay, so Kitchen Maker round.
You know, Smeg had to beat him by 4 or something like that, or 3.
So anyway, Kitchen Maker round in 3rd place, followed by Harkin, followed by Mersk, followed by Smeg at this stage, and then Honda. So we're going to try and jump up to this battle for the race win.
And the Kitchen Maker nearly in the tide. Yeah.
So Asco drives, they'll be hoping they'll be on lay for Totem Pole and Shark Island. Okay, yeah, we're just in shot. We've got Finport coming out on starboard out of Steel Point and Nielsen Park. Obviously on opposite drive, so we'll get a clear indication pretty quickly who's done better. Has Asco done better out in the centre?
Nah, Finport's still in front.
Yep, so Finport crossed slightly in front of Asco, but Finport might be going to a better lay, Andrew.
Well, it's a tricky one, this one, isn't it?
Look, they've gone a lot further, so Asco, I would imagine, will have to drive back again. Finport extending a lot further.
Finport, I think Finport's gone too far now.
Asco's going right in under Steel Point.
Yeah, they won't be able to live there, I don't think.
Doesn't look too flash.
There goes Finport, they've tried.
God, don't forget the breeze is up a little from where it was.
Asco's still got pressure under Steel Point. Yep. But will it last? Probably not.
Yeah, you get it wrapping around the corner a little bit, and then it's can get dodgy.
Well, here he goes. He's just setting up to jibe, I think.
Yeah, yep. Here goes Asco.
A little jibe.
So this will be advantage back. Asco will have right, but I don't think they're going to get to the Ducko.
No. Finport's clear.
Yeah. From the drone, that is completely plain. But Asco's going to jibe inside it.
Yep, Asco jibing back.
Coming down to the Shark Island jibe mark. Second last leg of this World 18-foot skiff title for 2018. And these are the two leaders. Finport of Australia, Asco of Australia. But the overall champion looks to be, at this stage, Honda Marine from New Zealand.
And I can tell you, looking back, Mersk hasn't disposed of the Kitchen Maker or Harkin at this stage.
That's correct. Oh, what's going on here?
Finport.
So the boys blasting across the top of Shark Island.
Maximum pressure now, Asco, Finport behind him. But
little
still
puff
leading.
coming here for
Good
Asco.
puffs coming for Asco. Hang on, boys. Low hooks here.
Yeah.
Bushka. That's the real estate of Shark Island in the background.
They are fully mapped. Finport maybe with a little bit more riding, maybe, or maybe not, I don't know.
Just got, no, it isn't in the puff. The puff's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Finport nice there.
Now Asco's got a little bit of bow up and going faster. I expect them to continue on a little bit before they jibe here.
Now there's a car dealer boat was.
Poor old car dealers are cop hiding today.
They deserve it.
Highly respected profession. Finport on the face of a good one. And Asco chasing him down.
So
Asco jibing.
having a crack.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you've got to roll the dice.
Exactly.
Just the last leg now. The final race. Finport jibing to Lewin. Asco jibe, nice jibe. They're on their way to the finish. A long gap now to the third place.
Yeah, these two have just demolished the guys behind, haven't they?
Well, they were allowed to sail their own race, and
yes,
away they went.
So looking back, Merce looks like they might be putting pressure on the kitchen maker. And Honda.
Merce got the high line, Harkin the low line.
Okay, looks like Honda's behind. Well, it's a bit hard, we can't tell from wherever. Maybe Smegs is brother Honda now. But anyway, this is the battle. Asco having a crack in, good pressure.
That's the battle for third on camera. Meanwhile, the two leaders are screaming towards the finish. A perfect Sydney day, clear sky, nor'easter in. And the JJ Giltinan World title for 2018 winds down with Finport, Keegan York and Asco, James Doran racing for the finish.
Yeah, geez, Asco had a big advantage over Finport. And so they've done really well to get up to them and then get ahead of them. Now only a few hundred more metres to go and this championship will be wrapped up. What a great way to finish. We had a beautiful spring or autumn on the day here, sun out, 15 knots of breeze.
The charges on the Spectator craft are flying to the finish, as is are the two leaders. Finport, Keegan York leads the fleet in the 9th race of this series. It's probably the longest number of races in a World Championship. 9 races. On 2 days we had 2 races of this in midweek in fluky conditions, but we've seen everything from fresh nor'easter to screaming southerlies to light fluky easterlies and southeasterlies. But at the moment, Keegan York and the boys on Finport powering towards the finish and will win Heat 9 of the JJ Giltinan 18-foot skiff championships. A fine win. Great performance. Had hammered away all day at Asco and finally got to him on the second last run to the finish. So there goes Finport. Finport first. Asco second. Just crossing the line. Asco will be the top Australian boat. Great performance by James Doran and his crew. They've sailed pretty consistently throughout. But now we're going back for the battle for third. Mersk low. Up high is Harkin.
Well, Mersk has dusted the kitchen maker.
Certainly has.
And he's dusted the Harkin too, I think.
Yeah, I think Mersk will get third.
Yep, which won't be quite enough for him to win the title.
I don't think so. I better double check my maths, but I don't think it will be.
Yeah, get the abacus out, Pete. That computer you got there is no good, mate.
I don't want to. Right. Here's Mersk coming in. She's got herself through to third. Almost. It's Harkin and Mersk, but I think Mersk better position for the finish, Andrew.
Yeah, I think he's just in front of Harkin. Only just, but it'll be enough, I think. And he's under no threat from kitchen maker, so. Yeah, no problem for these guys, I don't think.
So that is a huge effort.
Yeah.
They are battling. Honda had them tucked away, tack for tack, bashing them up. They kept their cool. Had a little split at one stage. Pushed Mersk well ahead of Honda at one stage. Then they had this pack ahead of them, who were a long way ahead of them, and so they've disposed of Smeg. the Kitchen Maker, and maybe Harkin. We'll try and pick it up. I think.
Oh, it's close.
It's close. The Mersk will do it, won't they? Oh no. Well, no, Harkin's outside.
Harkin went the wrong side. Harkin went the wrong side of the finishing line.
Yeah.
So Mersk is third.
So that's going to, unless Harkin can get back, that's going to hurt.
Does he realise what he's done? I don't know whether he's...
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. So Kitchen Maker 4. They chicken wing themselves up there, Harkin.
Yeah.
Kitchen Maker 4, Smeg 5.
So they're not going to get back before Honda anyway.
Then Honda will come in barreling in at 6th. Oh dear, what a mistake from Harkin. Lucky the title wasn't on the line there for Harkin. 6th will be Honda, and now Harkin will go from 4th to 7th.
Yeah, so Honda, they're congratulating each other.
Yep.
So that they had a plan, they had a strategy, and they've pulled it off by the looks of things.
Still was big points to the boys on the Merce line.
Yeah.
Josh Peremsky, Jack Sampson and Dave Hazard.
Yep.
Terrific regatta from them, and they couldn't have done any more today, I don't think. Yeah. Hands off. And if you consider that the Mersk, it's their first year in the class, and low budget, as I said, incredible effort, really.
Just watching Quality Marine Clothing come along next. Yeah, but full marks to the New Zealanders, brilliantly consistent, both of them throughout, really. Honda just a fraction better at the long run, but those boys on Mersk, wow, have they got a future. But full marks to Honda Marine. Dave McDiarmid, Matt Stephen and Brad Collins. Deserved winners, absolutely deserved winners.
Lots of excited spectators.
The Kiwis are happy.
Now, does this mean the next Giltinan is in Auckland?
I believe not.
I believe not, okay. It's a bit like Wimbledon, is it, mate? It's always in Wimbledon, okay.
Exactly.
Maybe we can take the camera cat over by water.
Yeah,
sure, Pete. Yeah, you can do that, mate.
You're on your own there.
No, Bucko do it. Spoonful of cement.
No worries. I need a bucket
well,
of
that's the
cement.
series. What a great series. A really thrilling series. All types of conditions. This was every race was close. Every race was close. Even today was close. It looked as though Asco would lead by a long way, but he didn't. And finally, Finport got on top of him. So we think that the provisionally points is that Honda Marine will be first, Mersk Line second, and Asco third, the top Australian boat. 1 and 2 from New Zealand, the first time that New Zealand have ever won this title on Sydney Harbour. And the first time since 1974, since Travelodge New Zealand, Terry McDell, Kim McDell and Peter Brook beat all comers on Auckland's Watermatta.
And Kim and Terry McDell are both here watching the race today.
Yes,
so
we interviewed them this morning. We saw them yesterday. And the ribbon, the championship ribbon, which is a great tradition in 18-foot skiff sailing, will be handed over by Dave Porter, one of Australia's great skiff sailors, the Inter-Dominion 12-foot skiff champion, a world 18-foot skiff champion. Port won in 1975 on KB. He was runner-up a number of times. Saw him this morning. He's at the club with a lot of old 18-foot skiff boys, a lot of boys over from Manly. Willie Morrison, Bobby Joy were here. Biggles Priestley. One notable absence with Johnny Munson. Claims he had to go babysitting. I mean, Munno, you've lost the plot, mate. You've absolutely lost the plot. And Johnny Steamer Stanley, I think he was down at Geelong. Oh, there's Peroni. Never lets you down. Capsizing just before the finishing line. Well, he's been our hero for capsizes, Peroni. So we're just hanging around. The boats have been asked to stay out here while the championship ribbon is hoisted aloft on Honda Marine. Again, that's the tradition. You just show great sportsmanship and wait out here until the ribbon gets put on. And they're going to wait till the majority of the fleet finish. And Dave Porter will put the ribbon on Honda Marine.
And okay, we're just about to cross over the ferry to... Okay, sorry, our director's just telling us we're about to go on board Honda Marine for an interview. We'll head off down there ourselves, I think.
And welcome everybody, we are here with the winners of the 2018 JJ Giltinan on Sydney Harbour, Honda Marine from New Zealand! Woo! Crack that champagne, Triple! Okay. There we go! Nice! Come on, Triple! That was a pretty power effort. Sorry for everybody for that. Hey, Dave McDiamond, you came so close to winning this last year and now it is yours. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty stoked with the result. It obviously went down to the wire. I've got lots of sunscreen in my eyes now. Yeah, no, just super stoked. We've been here, I think this is my 7th JJ's. To come so close the last couple of years, it just made us work harder, so we're just super stoked.
Hey, we are absolutely stoked for you. Maddie, come up here. How does it feel to be the winner of the JJ's?
Brilliant. Yeah, awesome. And just the whole Kiwi team in general, we had a mission and I think we've done it, so yeah, thank you.
And to the Maersk Line guys who came second, that was a tough battle. You guys were match racing pretty much that entire race. Are you pretty knackered after that though, Triple?
Yeah, I'm good for home time, eh? I'm done.
No, those boys did unbelievable way. Like, they only had 15 days in the boat max before this regatta, so to come through and push us like that is just, I didn't see that coming, so.
So this is the first time in 44 years that New Zealand has won the JJ's, and guess what? We get to take it home.
Yeah, boy.
All right, guys, thank you so much. The winners of the 2018 JJ Giltinan Honda Marine, Dave McDiamond, Matt Stevens and Brad Collins from New Zealand, representing Auckland Skiff League and the Royal Akarana Yacht Club. Go New Zealand!
Ripping away. Hold on.
Get in the middle. Hang on.
Can I give you guys a hug?
All right.
Well, absolute delight from Dave McDiamond, Matt Stephen and Brad Collins, the crew aboard Honda Marine, the 2018 JJ Giltinan World 18-foot skiff champions, and thoroughly deserved. They were close last year, they finished 3rd, and they won 4 of the 7 heats, but this year they were brilliantly consistent and very, very worthy champions. And let's not forget Maersk, who really took the battle to them all the way through as well. Andrew, a quick summary of how you saw the regatta.
Yeah, Pete, I think, regretfully, I suppose, it's a bit of a wake-up call for the Australian fleet and organisation that the Kiwis were pretty strong, and none of our boats could say that they were in the same class, speed-wise and perhaps even handling-wise, of Honda Marine and Maersk. And that deserves investigation, and I suppose a bit of focus on the Maersk in a certain sense, because young guys in their first year in the class, graduating from the 49er, but from the tough training school, and that shows. Their execution was a class above everybody else out there, and whilst the regatta will forever be sailed on Sydney Harbour, we do need to consider what needs to be done to improve the Australian showing.
But I think it's a great thing for the class that, New Zealand have got up there. They're close the last couple of years and they've really nailed it this time. So it'll give a great fill-up to the class in Auckland, I'm sure.
No
great
doubt.
Encouragement.
No doubt at all. But it does ask the question of Australia, doesn't it?
Sure. But it just shows our boys how much better they've got to be as consistent as these New Zealanders have. I mean, Honda's worst performance was today with a 6th, and Maersk's worst performance all series was a 5th. So That's brilliant consistency over 9 races. So we're just waiting now. I think Honda's going up to get the ribbon from Dave Porter. He's going to go which side of the... He's going to down the port side. Not an easy thing to do, trying to get the boat alongside, the 18-footer alongside the ferry. We'll just try and get a shot of that at the moment.
Well, what's going on here, was? Like we're bringing a drone in. We have to go and take the pictures the other way, yeah?
Honda just the other side. We're just going round to get see Dave Porter give them the ribbon. And the other 18 is just milling around. It's just quite hard to manoeuvre. There's Dave in the, hard to see in the rib, in the blue hat. It's quite rocky here. Oh.
The deckhand's going for a ride.
Deckhand's going for a ride. There's the ribbon. I don't know what the deckhand's going to do. I would think his experience in 18-footers are minimal to nil.
He wasn't expecting that, Shippers.
No. Anyway, there's Dave Porter just getting on the ferry there, just going in. He's giving the ribbon across.
Might be a bit of rubber duck rescue.
Great excitement here on the a great tradition on Sydney Harbour. The ferry full of punters, legally or illegally, but I'm sure it's all above board, and they're having a great time. And they've seen a great series and a great race today. I don't know what Honda's going to do. He's going to be back dropping the crewman off or what?
Oh, they get him off with a rubber boat, Pete.
So we're going to try and talk to Dave McDiarmid, but I think he's got other priorities on his plate at the moment. Just milling around. Repeating today's race was won by Finport, Asco second, Maersk third, Kitchen Maker fourth, Smeg fifth, which gives the title to Honda Marine. Maersk Line second, and Asco Appliances will finish in third place.
Can't hear you through the crack. So obviously the New Zealand girl has interviewed him, but we were planning for Shippers to do it as well, but he's... Do you want to wrap up, Chicks?
Okay, well look, I think amongst great excitement here on the harbour, we've seen a thrilling series that's concluded today, the 9th race, won by Finport. Overall, the series has been won by Honda Marine of New Zealand. First time in a long while, 44 years since New Zealand have hoisted the trophy aloft. So I guess that goes with the America's Cup that they own now. They've got the JJ Giltinan Shield. So Warwick, as you manoeuvre us out of this tight situation, how is your quick summary on the overall regatta?
Oh, I just think it's just so healthy for the sport, for the class. It's good news for New Zealand. I think it's always good to have a bit of a wake-up call. There's been a lot of new teams here in Australia, and some of the established ones have left the class, and we were treated to a week of just absolute racing, and you know, and then to have that match racing going on today was just classic stuff, and you know, we're just all privileged to have a great week of sailing.
Okay, we've seen it all. New Zealand are the winners. Honda Marine first, Maersk Line second, Asco third. The 2018 JJ Giltinans is all over for another year. We say thank you very sincerely to our tech guys that worked overtime to keep the pictures coming to you under extreme conditions. Andrew Buckland and Warwick Rookland, a sincere thanks to you, and Steve Quigley, who stood in for Andrew yesterday. Thanks to Steve. So for another year, it's over and dusted. It's over to New Zealand for the title, back here in Australia for the racing in 12 months' time. So on behalf of everyone, Peter Shipway, goodbye from Sydney Harbour for the final time for the 2018 JJ Giltinan titles.